exists.
And we're going live. And I think we're live.
Exclusive.
Let me make sure. Hit that button again. Let Phil Spencer talk again. We got to give this man some air.
This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
Thanks, Philly. And that was a good introduction to RDX. Real Deal Xbox Podcast. Brought to you by Sponge Speculation. Hey, we got some guests on this week. And we got a pretty big panel, so I want to thank everybody here for putting up with each other and potentially speaking over one another during the show. We're going to make it work for the chat. Thanks for joining us. If you're already here, hit the like button, share it out, as we have a ton of pretty interesting topics and even some special information for you here. We got some more special information we'll talk about during the show, and we're going to make it fun. But hey, let's do some introductions. I'll do some shout outs to my shout out tier and patron. And some channel members and everyone in the chat will say hi. But D-Batch, hang on, we'll come back to D-Batch. We know he's in the middle of feeding a dog or something, whatever he had to run off and do.
No, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm here.
D-Batch,
I'm here.
How you been, buddy? Another week, another RDX.
Yeah, man. I thought it'd be a dry week, but we got some stuff to talk about at Gamescom today. Was pretty interesting. Well, we'll get into all of that, right? At least we got something to talk about. Anyways, yeah, no, it's just good to be back, man. It's really hot out here, so I'm in the room right now in the air conditioning, so everything's mint. Let's go.
Fonzarelli, how you been?
Yeah, I'm here. Here, reporting for duty.
All right, perfect. Hey, we've also got Zouker87, known as just Zouker and Zouky on YouTube.
Zalky, come on, get it right.
I forget.
Zero
Sorry.
instead of a yeah,
Zalky.
Yeah, no, feels good to be back, man. We got some stuff to talk about. Gamescom was, and then co-op. What? Yeah, we got a bunch.
But there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Like, you guys are already killing my mood, man. What's up? What's up with this? What's up with
It's
this?
your own mood.
I know,
You're projecting.
Right? Hey, speaking of projecting, So Shady's projecting into this podcast as the spirit of great podcasting. So thanks for coming back, and I want to have you on this week, man. How have you been?
Good, man. Honestly, just when I thought I was out, you pulled me right back in. I wasn't sure I was going to continue guesting on shows and whatnot until I actually started putting out my own damn content. And then, how do you turn down an invite on the show that started it all for you? Right after, my God, a bomb dropped in the community. I got to talk about it. We'll get to that. And then, of all things, we also had a Gamescom show to go. So, I'm really excited to be here. Shout out to all the legends that have been listening to RDX for long enough to know who the hell I am. To everyone else, thanks for tuning in. I hope I can give you some entertainment and maybe some insight on a few things, but I'm really excited. I know we got a lot of dudes on the panel, a lot of shit to talk about, so let's do it.
Yes, it shall be fun. We've also got Mav. I met Mav on Farmers Only. No, I'm just kidding. I met Mav. We played some 2K, right? I did a show, and we just kind of just had some fun, man. So we figured we'd have Mav on, filling for Tim Dog, who didn't make it today because co-op. And of course, Mav, thanks for joining us, brother.
Well, I'd like to thank Tim Dog first off for not making it today. Hey, thanks for inviting me to the show. A lot of amazing people here, so I'm excited to be here and talk about Gamescom because it was a show. It was a show. I don't know what else it was, but it was a show. So we're going to talk about that and lots of other fun things. Let's go, dude.
Well, we have some special, we have some other information on what they're really going to show you. And Gamescom isn't over, right? There's more to this. I was actually contacted by somebody at Xbox about this to kind of give me a heads up, but I already knew kind of what was going on the following day. So there's more to this story, and we will definitely get into that during the show. But right now, I got to give a shout out to everybody watching, guys. We do appreciate it. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, maybe tell a buddy as we do some patron shout outs, and we'll move on to some topics. But I got to give a big shout out to Forkboy Gaming. We've got Dave, Incubus, Ricky Falon, Darsh Knight, Faultline Z, Not Silik, God's Geeks. We're having him on soon as well, by the way. Bad Boy Live, Achievement, Nano Polymath. Shout out to him. Zordon, Costanza, Scout Trooper 74, KY Bob, Goose 8402, Strawhead Khalifa, Assassin Lupa, Foreign Object, as well as Gab Queest, Teo John Blue, Beck Boss, Deviator X, Real Deal Neil, Suicide King, Michael Bowen. I'm trying here, guys. As well as Guillermo Cabillo. Shout out to him, long time listener. All Might, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan. Shout out to the patron tier, the shout out tier there. Thank you guys for listening to us talk about Gamescom, because they had some cool stuff there. Like, they had some interesting stuff. It's just, chat. Let us know what you think about Gamescom for one, right? We're going to do a little live reading of the room, if you will. What would you give Gamescom out of 10 if you had to? Somebody said, all right, it's this, so you don't get to play any Forza Horizon 5 or Halo Infinite this year. You're going to lay down that score. So what would you give Gamescom this year if you had to for Xbox without the other part that's coming tomorrow? So far, what would you give it? And we can kind of go over some of that information there. But generally, I'd say the consensus is it wasn't really, it needed something else, right? It's almost like it needed another announcement or something else to be shown, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, like, they gave an 8-minute whatever video gameplay of Forza, which was awesome. And I was almost like, we talked about this in a party. Shady was talking about it. A lot of us were. And I was like, man, I've seen enough of Forza and I know it's going to be great. And like, yeah, it's a big game coming out this year, but I think Halo needed to be there. There's rumors of it being there tomorrow. We don't know. I mean, whatever. People are kind of like, talking about it, whispering about it. But on your own show, it should have been a little better. The game that I was happy to see actually was Dying Light 2. I thought that game looked insane.
Hang on.
Like, I'm
Bitch,
really
you are
excited.
skipping right past the catapult, okay? That catapult.
Oh, you mean the what was that called again? What is it?
Trebuchet.
Trebuchet. The trebuchet.
Well,
Yeah,
whoever had the
they're like,
trebuchet
"Get the
idea, put him in it and
counterweight."
launch him out the window.
When they were explaining how the trebuchet worked, I was like, "What the hell are we doing right now?" I was like, okay, and I'm one of the people that are hyped for that game, right? But
And the
after a while, I was
trebuchet.
like, I was just like, yeah.
So explain the trebuchet mechanic.
The trebuchet mechanic is
For what game?
What's that game that we play? Number 2,
Chivalry.
Chivalry. Yeah, man, we get launched in that game. It's awesome.
Oh, so fun.
What's happening here?
Exactly.
Fawn's really
yeah,
ecstatic with the trebuchet action.
But overall, if we want to go through scores a little bit, I give it honestly a 4.5 or a 5
Out of
out of 10.
okay. So let's go back to Dying Light 2, and we'll round it off with that. The chat right now is basically saying 5, 4. We have a few 7s in there. Until I brought up the trebuchet, that brought those up to 8s. So, I mean, really, there were some standout things there. There was the Dying Light 2 stuff, which, there's a lot of rumors around potential deals with Game Pass, etc. with those things. But Dying Light 2 was a standout. How good did that game look, Fonz, really? Did you get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, it looks great. Unfortunately, I've said it before, I can't play Dying Light or any of those types of games because that parkour and stuff really messes with me. And I just get motion sickness. So
It's just
I wish I
motion
could play it
sickness.
because it does look good. It looks fantastic.
But you'll be skipping it on account of motion sickness?
Yeah, I tried to play the first one, even in 60 frames when they boosted it. Didn't help.
How the hell did
So,
you not die playing
for some
Doom Eternal?
reason well, no. There's something different with the parkour
The head
elements
bobbing?
and stuff. Yeah, maybe that because Mirror's Edge does the same thing. So it's just like those types of games, first person with parkour added. It's like it's I
Both
don't
games have that first person roll aspect too. Every time you hit the ground and you barrel roll out, you're in first
Yeah.
person. I mean, maybe that's doing it to you.
know. Maybe. But,
Yeah.
but it looks great, dude. I'm not gonna naysay the game because I can't play it. It looks really good.
Now, when they showed the opener for Forza Horizon, I hear it's quite epic. I refuse to watch it because I want to actually experience it. I looked away real quick, right? Forza, but from what I'm seeing, I've seen the screenshot of the thumbnail and all that stuff. It's going to look incredible. And apparently, you're dropping out of a plane or something. Did somebody say that?
It's like Fast and Furious. It's badass, man.
Oh,
Drop
yeah.
out of the back of the plane, landing in that crazy looking Mercedes, and the race just starts, and you go. It looks very bombastic. The beginning to Forza Horizon is always a lot of fun, and this one looks like it's delivering. Part of me was a little upset that they showed it. The other part was just it got me pumped. I mean, I'm excited for that game. It looks incredible.
It does. It really does. Mav, what were your thoughts with Dying Light 2, Horizon 5, what they showed there? And we'll come back to kind of the rest of the show.
Yeah, Dying Light 2 looks like Dying Light 1, but better. So that's all I could ask for. I mean, the Dying Light 1 was a great game. They took a lot of the same elements and just amped it up like crazy because we hadn't seen a lot from that game for a long time. And then I think they just started showing it earlier this year. Every time they've shown it, it just looks incredible. So I'm super happy about that. It's a co-op game too, right? So that's
Launch?
something I always look forward to.
At launch,
launch,
co-op
though.
game?
At launch.
Oh, at launch. At launch.
Maybe
you mean?
no. I think they said 3 months after launch. I don't remember. Do you guys remember?
Hang on, we'll come back to all that shit. All right. There's a lot of that's going to be a fun topic because there are multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
Say what? I got to give a shout out to the Glitch Doctor real quick. Catch up on a few of these super chats here. He says Xbox completely forgot to put their Dirt 5 controller in stores. It's the Horizon 5 controller now. Yeah, that's a weird looking Forza Horizon controller. I said it when I first saw it. I was like, somebody threw up on this controller. Hey, some Skittles and threw
It
up.
looked exotic. I thought it looked exotic. I kind of like it. It's ugly in a beautiful way. It's
I don't necessarily think it's ugly.
It's
just
a beautiful way, dealer.
Yeah, it just doesn't really match like the game, I guess. It doesn't even look like, I don't know, maybe it does. Maybe I'm tripping. Chat, let me know.
The translucence is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, the way how you can look inside the controller. Like, yeah, it's a weird looking controller. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, man, this is like all over the place. Like they just threw it in like a paint shop and just like brought it out on the other side, and they're like, yeah, it looks awesome. Moving
Leaning
on.
into the live art that's in the game with all the artists that they've hired to paint. Like that Mexico, I guess, is like that in a lot of the places. They really promote that sort of stuff. So it's really leaning into that. But the trailer for that controller was out of this world, man. It was like, this is for a controller. It was pretty badass. Those things ripping around, smoke busting up. Like, whoa!
It's the Doom team, the trailer guy from Doom. He's on that controller trailer now. It's Danny Gaming, by the way. Shout out to him. He in the Super Chase, his Gamescom event was thumbs down, 5 out of 10. If I'm being nice, man, chat. Let us know what you think about the event. Xberg, shout out to him. He says I must be getting too old. Without question, I found Flight Simulator interesting. Wait, wasn't that? They did spend 10 minutes on Flight Sim, and the game's already out. And anytime you do that, that's going to cause people to be like, why is this here? Kind of, kind of like the Sea of Thieves thing. They did have a Sea of Thieves pirate ship
And
there.
it wasn't even like it was just like a new paint and a new sail for Sea of Thieves. And it's like, I get it, but like, you don't need to announce that. Just put that shit on Twitter. Like, they were like because they actually got me excited. They're like, we have some new content for Sea of Thieves. I was like, wait, what? And then they had like Joe Neat come out, and when Joe Neat comes out, like he talks about like big updates, and it wasn't. It was just that, and I was like, oh, way to fucking irritate me.
Well, Expert, when he finishes his review, he does say that he found the Flight Sim recreating the museum plane offerings and the Age of Empires weapons history the most interesting. They piqued his interest the most today. So maybe you are getting old, Expert. I don't know. But hey, let us know if you enjoyed those same things. We got one more here I'll get, and then we'll come back. Flapjack Juice. Shout out to him. He says, show had standouts, but he watched it after the fact. Hopefully you watched it 4K, because all this stuff does look a lot better. He says he skipped all over the place, and the gameplay was 10 out of 10 for Dying Light 2, Forza Horizon 5. MDs were fire. Hey, again, everyone's allowed to have their opinion. So when it comes to Horizon, we know that was good. When it comes to Dying Light 2, that was good. Anything else that really stunk? The gunk was there, right? They didn't have a date, but then others are saying there is a date somewhere else, but that could be a placeholder. What's the story there?
I mean, the gunk is a game that's been talked about for a while, and they haven't announced anything. But then they talked about the game, they showed it, and then at the end of the trailer, it kind of seems like it ended abruptly. Like there was nothing else after. Like it just ended and they moved on. But then on Twitter, you see some people saying like, "Hey, it's apparently a December release date."
Yeah, it is.
Which it's like yeah. So yeah, now it's a December release date, and it's like, why didn't you just put that in the trailer? It's right there.
It felt like they cut it out. Like they were going to do something, but they like removed it or something like that.
It
did
just
kind of
holiday.
Holiday, yeah,
2021.
They did in the lead up. I mean, Xbox let everyone know who's following them on Twitter that this show was nothing but stuff coming this year. So there's that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Except for Halo. They didn't show Halo.
And by the way, the indie games, a lot of people were like, oh, one indie game actually kind of piqued my interest. It was like a budgeted Doom, which was Into the Pit.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like, and it even sounded like Doom. It was like, and you're like killing demons, and it's a roguelike game. I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, this is kind of sick.
So
you're just using your
with
hands.
their arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just the regular stuff, man. Like, well, we were told not to expect anything from this show. So if you went in expecting any blockbuster announcements, then that's on you. I think it was a 5, and I think that's kind of being generous. I think the only reason why I'm giving it a 5 is the Forza shit, man. That looked pretty cool, man. When they were dropping you down in on the mountain there, and you get a little bit of the snow around the volcano and shit, and then you go down that really steep mountainside, and you're just like flying through, and the atmosphere and the music, it got me pumped for Forza. But apart from that, and Dying Light looked okay too, to be honest with you. I like the parts, the parkour parts where you like jump off the side of the bus and like kick the guy in the head and all that shit. That looked pretty cool. So apart from that, the show was just like mid, man.
Well, the
Just-
reason
it
why
was just
people
mid.
are kind of a little, I think they're a little disappointed is because the last time they said temper expectations was during the Game Awards, and then they dropped freaking Perfect Dark on us. So it was like, and it was the same person, Aaron Greenberg, said, "Hey, temper expectations,"
Well,
and he said that for this one.
it's not over. Like that's what I
Yeah,
said.
exactly.
It's not over.
Could I read a super chat here regarding
Sure.
this topic? Okay. Don Otaku says, the gunk was my only expectation, and we got even less information than the first trailer. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Oh, shit.
Jeez, bud.
Damn, Don. Going ham.
Yeah, what the hell?
You must really love the gunk.
Yeah, well, it's Danny Gaming. I'll get this one. He says Xbox is being weirdly inconsistent with their shows because, as we all know, the last show they did was probably their best show ever. And it was really, really good. He says they go from great to what the fuck within months, crossing finger. Well, I don't know, man. I was going to ask people how the hosting was and all that stuff, but, that's all opinion either way, and they don't have any control over the lineup, so it depends on what they're working with. He says they redeem themselves tomorrow, hopefully. I mean, maybe, but then again, just keep the expectations low. We'll talk more about that in a bit, hopefully, but again, I mean, nothing else stood out. Chat, help us out here. Nothing else stood out to you guys, anything at all. You got a controller, you got Dying Light 2, you got Horizon 5, you got a ship.
I got one thing.
Mhm.
The dude that was promoting Wasteland should promote every game. That dude was cool as hell. Like, he had like such energy, charisma. Like, you could tell like the In Exile team, that guy was just like so into the game. He was like, and we're doing this and this and this. And it's like, dude, you make me want to play the game. Like, this dude was like just super chill. He could tell like he loves what he's doing. And the game looked kind of cool. Like, I was like, oh man, I kind of want to play Wasteland 3, their expansion now in October. Like, it just, I don't know. The dude did a good job. He was more charismatic than the whole damn show put together.
I don't think so.
It tripped me out, man, because he's like an old-looking young guy or a young-looking old guy. I don't know what to say, man. I couldn't put with the. I just couldn't, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what he was talking about. His energy was great. I'm kidding. He was a really cool dude, and I haven't played Wasteland. I started it just to see what the hell the game was, but I'm sure it's been updated way, way, way since launch. And I think the co-op in that would be pretty awesome to play a game like that in co-op. His energy was sweet. I agree.
Yeah, and you got to remember that
Wasteland has co-op, yes.
Yeah, it does. Also, too, it's okay to have a different perspective. Like, if you love this show, like, every normal person's going to look at you and be like, whoa. And if you hated it, then there's going to be a lot of people that be like, whoa. And it's okay. Like, everyone's got their own opinion as long as you're being legitimate. I'm not ever going to tell somebody not to voice their opinion and just don't say these things because it's not what I want to hear, only because it's not positive or not negative. That's bullshit, because then they're not being real, right? So that defeats the purpose of even doing this at all.
One thing I do have to say about the show, though, as a whole, you hear people saying, well, you shouldn't have expected too much and that sort of thing, because they did, in fact, say they weren't going to show any new games or anything like that, new announcements, which, fine. But again, they did say that they were going to show some stuff based on stuff we've already seen. And in that regard, you got to understand that some people were expecting to see maybe a Halo release date, maybe Halo gameplay, or even maybe more gameplay with some other games we've already heard about. Maybe Avowed, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because you're saying there's nothing new going to be there, the new announcements doesn't mean they couldn't have showed something more on games we've already heard of. And I think that's where people were kind of disappointed.
So the lesson here would be like, hey, if you're going to have a bigger title like Halo launch and you're already people have already played this game. That's why I don't understand why they would be secretive about this, because it's not going to blow anyone's mind for you to say we're going to have Halo at this show today, right? 10 minutes of gameplay would be cool. It would be a nice surprise, a treat, a standout, but it's nothing to keep secret. And it's definitely not worth holding off for tomorrow's on them, whatever. So it's,
I was just going to say, not everyone's made it through the 5 stages of grief. I only recently have myself. So they're trying to maybe hold off on the Halo footage right today. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
It could be.
Also, guys, Don Otaku in the chat, like when he was saying about the gunk, I think they missed an opportunity there. because that is an exclusive game coming out supposedly in December to Xbox. If they would have put more of a focus on that and had a longer trailer and said coming this holiday 2021, then we would all be like making a bigger deal about the gunk. Instead, we just got this weird little trailer that told us absolutely nothing and actually showed us less than what we've seen.
And
before.
I'm looking forward to
So
that
was a
game.
missed
Like, I want to
opportunity.
play that game. And yeah, I mean, that's, I can't wait to play it. Pongsoul says Crusader Kings 2 did it for him. So each person's kind of got their game that they enjoyed, but it's really about the overall presentation, I guess. And some people didn't catch it, some did, some caught the highlights, and really it's going to really vary based on that. But from everything we're seeing, Crusader Kings or whatever 2, right? Forza Horizon 5, Dying Light 2, and the guy that did the presentation for Wasteland 3. Anything else good?
That's
I like the
pretty much
Flight
all I
Sim
can
guy.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Flight Sim guy is good.
okay.
The Flight Sim guy's jacket was savage.
Hey, but let's see here. We've also got the Wasteland, the Xcloud On Console. That was interesting information for a lot of people. We talked about this in 2019 that this was going to happen. You'll be able to stream your games on your Xbox console, and they have officially announced and revealed that you're actually going to be able to play next generation games on your Xbox One this way as well. Testing for that does hit soon, and it is due out this holiday. It is going to be at 1080p 60 frames per second resolution, and the games will feature a new cloud icon next to them, and when they are suspended, right? So that's kind of cool. It'll allow you to even try out games and stuff without downloading them. Like we said, all this stuff will eventually happen.
Didn't we call this, man? Did we
100%,
not call this?
It's common sense now, though. Everyone called it now that it happened. Anyway, 1080p 60 frames D-batch, and it's kind of neat. They did show a little clip of someone jumping back into F1, I think it was.
Yep. And I got to say, this shows the difference between the companies. See, they could be trying to shove the Xbox Series X and S down your throats, but they're like, no, if you have an Xbox One, if you have an Xbox One S, we're going to allow you to play these next generation games via the cloud on that system, which just the value itself of that alone is just awesome. Like if you don't have Game Pass now, like, I'm sorry, you're just stupid. You need to, if you're on the Xbox platform, you should have Game Pass. If you have PC, you should be subscribed to Game Pass. And if you don't have any of those platforms, you should subscribe to Game Pass because you can play it on other devices.
How much are they paying you, D-batch?
Like too much. Can't tell you. No, but it's like this. Like the service, just like I was thinking today. Like all of these games, even if you think some of these games are mid, they're going to be inside of Game Pass, and you have the option to try it. So you're not forced to go out and buy that game. It's in Game Pass. You can try it, and you know what? You might like some of those games. Just the value of Game Pass alone is just extraordinary, man. And the fact that they're going to let you play these games on the Xbox One, it's just incredible. And if you want to upgrade, you got the S, you got the Series X, you got options. And I think Game Pass is just going to grow in numbers, man. Like it's just awesome, man. Like imagine this 4 years ago. We were saying some of this stuff maybe 2 years ago, and people were saying that we're crazy, but now this is a reality. And give credit where credit is due. This is an awesome service and an awesome fan service for them to do this.
Yeah. And it just opens them up to more users, right? So Nano Polymath says Greeny's welcome intro was good. And shout out to Aaron Greenberg. We had him on the show before. He is definitely having a little bit of fun. I remember when Ori 2 came out, he was running around in the Ori onesie. I don't know if you guys remember that. Fonz bought it from him for $10.
Yeah, I remember that.
Chris Grinnell in the chat as well. Shout out to him, good friend. And we've also got another super chat here. I want to get to this one here. Arganese Herrera. I'll try to pronounce it correctly. Gamescom, 5.5 out of 10. He said, if it were inside Xbox, 7.5 out of 10. That's a good way to look at it, I guess. Inside Xbox is dead, apparently. We need to get Ricari Austin on again, Fonz.
Yes, we do.
So Fonz, you're quiet over there.
Because I'm sitting here reading the chat,
All right. Well, don't let it get.
I like to read the chat. I like to respond to people in the chat. I like to help out with the show. But as you said at the start, we have a lot of people here, and I'm giving everybody a chance to speak their mind. And I'll jump in.
Any
when
final
says
thoughts
stupid, and
on
I
Gamescom?
will, argue.
Any final thoughts on Gamescom, Fonz? Really?
I'm just kidding. Anyway. Any final thoughts? Yeah. You know, I didn't expect too much personally. I did think we would see something from Halo. Okay, I didn't expect to see something from Halo, but I thought we would because I wanted to. I wanted to see some more campaign from Halo. I wanted to see a release date from Halo. I'm hearing those things may come tomorrow, and if it does, great. If it doesn't, that sucks.
Yes. They are showing something tomorrow that's worth seeing, though. I just don't understand why they would be secretive about showing Halo, a game that people have already played.
Yeah, that's my point.
But hey, maybe they are. Maybe what I'm hearing is I'm hearing two things, and more Halo is one of them for sure. But Mav or Shady, let me get Shady. I'll come to Mav. Shady, what is your kind of conclusion to your thoughts on everything combined with Gamescom? Anything that you think that should be touched on, maybe?
I thought the show, as far as like its presentation, was just a lot of the standard corporate cringe. You got a couple of guys up there, a couple of hosts who did a fine enough job reading off of a teleprompter. Like, claps, I guess, for that. I'm not into that stuff. I don't watch these shows for fireworks and concerts and light shows and dance-offs and all that crap. I don't.
agree.
But I am glad that there is a human element there. I'm not a fan of just a quick trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer with like an AI sounding voice over top. It just feels like that's too mechanical. Sony does that with their state of plays. I don't like that either. I'm willing to also accept a level of cringe. I've been watching these shows for like 30 years. It's been there more than it's not. It's almost always there. I couldn't do a better job and try and get the point across while trying to come off as cool and hip and all that. Like, it'd be very difficult. So all that aside, I thought what they showed, considering I knew that my expectations were in check. They said it's going to be nothing that we haven't seen before, and they said it's going to be nothing major and huge, nothing brand new games, no mega bombshells. And what they did show kind of had me excited, even from the small stuff like the skin for Sea of Thieves. I will turn it on now for that, and I'll probably do something in it other than turn it right back off. Because it's on, I'll probably play it a little bit. So kind of mission accomplished on their part on my end. I think the skin looks neat. I'll turn the game on, and that's all they want me to do because I might start playing it a lot. So I thought that was neat. I did like the little humble bundle of indies they show. I love when indie games, especially quality ones, obviously, drop in Game Pass. Because I almost want to play every single one of them, but I generally do not want to pay $20 each to do so. So I love when those suckers come to the service. And they showed a bunch of ones that I thought looked pretty neat. Getting into the flight simulator with the racing mode. I mean, is it a game now? Can we say it's a video game now with the racing mode? I'm not too sure. I don't know. It might just be a sim. I'm kidding, of course. I think it looks good.
Some of those racing things was sick, man. Like they have like a racetrack in Manhattan. So you just see people racing in Manhattan. I looked it up, dude. It actually looks really cool.
That was one of the things I wanted most in Flight Simulator was the fast planes. Like crank up the speed and let me roar around and see this stuff. And then they showed that crazy looking drone at the end. They kind of teased it. That'd be cool to fly around. I think it's going to be easy to fly and hover so you can go over to the areas that they have this super detailed, like down to 3 feet or whatever the hell measurement they had, scans of the whole city, and just hover over your house now instead of flying over at 200 miles an hour. That was it right there. Did you see it? Oh, I think so. I was pretty excited for that. I've seen enough of Forza Horizon by this point. I have seen enough. I want to play it. But every time they show it, I can't look away because it's just gorgeous and it blows my mind. I was not expecting to be playing a game of that fidelity this early into the gen, to be honest. So I'm so excited for it. And then it was nothing huge. I don't think it was anything bad or unexpected. And I think as far as the corporate cringe part went, that was fine and not overbearing. Tone it down a little bit on that. Tone down some of the interview time, perhaps, and it would have been a really good show for me. I would give it a 7.2 at the high for me right now. It's good. And knowing that there's more coming tomorrow, just more games coming tomorrow. They don't have to be exclusive to Xbox for me to be excited about stuff. Oh, sorry, Dying Light. That hyped me up, man. Open up that show. The parkour looked incredible. The combat looked unbelievable to me. They were hopping off each other, the way they're chopping off limbs. There's going to be bloody. I've been so excited for this game. It has been in my top 3 most hyped for a very, very long time. and it still is. I'm glad to see that it's come along real nice, and we're going to be getting that bad boy
You
in
could tell
December.
that they kept the combat of like Dying Light 2 kind of under wraps for a little while. They always showed like somebody blocking or then maybe like swinging, and that's about it. But this one, like he took on like a whole squad and was like jumping off of one, kicking another one, slicing the other one off. I was like, oh damn! I was like, that's sick.
Yeah, but even in that trailer, having the two devs, as passionate as they were, was a little bit too long. Like, I would have rather seen just a bit more gameplay and a bit more of that combat and that parkour and that Indiana Jones rope swinging. Like, I'm so excited for that game, and I'm pretty sure it is co-op, even if it's not at launch. I've made it past all these things.
I mean, the first one is, so hopefully
it looks. It is. That's right, and it just looks so
You
good.
would
and
think!
It's apparently,
Yeah, you would think.
apparently very dynamic. So I thought I didn't walk away angry at all. It was just a corporate show, and they got what's coming up to fill this year, except for Halo. They didn't show Halo, and that is definitely coming this year. So other than that, we got a pretty good update on a lot of stuff that I'm going to be loading up and playing. So I can't complain, man.
I got to say that's there's a ton of good stuff there to take away from the event. I'm not disappointed or angry with the event because I knew that there wouldn't be anything at the event. And I think they've been pretty transparent about that, but they're also, not showing something else at this event because the event for them, their stream is over on it. Why? I don't understand why do this for whatever, the thing they're going to do it for tomorrow, which I don't even know if I'm allowed to. Is that even, did they say?
Well, just
If,
get into
if, there-
details
if
with it.
there's a thing tomorrow, and if they show Halo there, maybe it's just a deal with the event promoters of Gamescom where we'll hold our big game, the huge name, the talk of the town game, and we'll show it at your guys' stuff on your channel, so more people might tune in. They'll get the clicks and the ad revenue.
Well,
and
it's for
Microsoft
a familiar
gets something out of it.
friend. It's for someone else say that his name. It's for a familiar face, a familiar. It's for J.
I saw something that made some sense though.
Jeff Keighley. Jeff
guys.
Keighley. Anyway.
Keighley.
Yeah, he has the thing
Jeff
tomorrow.
Keighley.
That's where it's at.
So
Okay, well, I mean, like, it's deals. It's backroom deals. Is why they didn't do it today. They got.
I just think that they
deal
shot
somewhere else for
themselves
something.
in the foot, and I think that if you're going to have an event like this, then you either cut it down to 30 minutes, or and keep the consistency of that summer show because that was the best show they'd ever done, or figure out what you're going to do here because there's no point taking your thing and then moving it to the next day, right?
That was my
We all know if you get Jeff Keighley on your side, you're winning Game of the Years. You're getting nominations. He's loving you. He's having
I'm
you
talking
on
about
for
from a
interviews.
fan perspective. I don't give a fuck about
Oh,
them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying I like it, but I think that's why it happened. I feel for you. Like, I would have loved to see some Halo today. I was in a better mood considering the topic.
Yeah.
So I would have been on board. And if they banged it out with some crazy looking campaign, maybe tease some kind of a firefight or horde mode, I think that would have sealed the deal on me being able to really truly accept just what it is and fine. Like, but if it's going to be later, it's later. I'm a patient man. I can wait. But if people don't know, if the people not listening to this are in the know like yourself, they're clueless perhaps. They're just like, well, no Halo. Fuck this.
Yeah, and
they're
that's,
just
and that's
like,
why that's why I'm saying it because I want to let people know that, man, I'm hearing a couple different things there, and Halo seems to be the most consistent one. But
What's the other one?
the other, I mean, I've heard it doesn't make any sense. Though. That's why I didn't want to say it. Like I've heard, and again, I'm not saying this is happening. This is something I heard was Perfect Dark. So, I don't know.
God.
We
No,
will
I'm
see.
hyped out of control, dealer. You've done it. Jesus.
Yeah, but it
They-
just kind of comes out of the
gave
left
that
field
to
with that,
Keighley.
right? It just
It would be huge.
so if it is Perfect Dark, which I did hear, also Halo, everyone's talking about Halo right now, then we will see. But I've not heard anyone else saying Perfect Dark. So if this is the case, that'd be pretty crazy. And I don't think anybody expects Perfect Dark to be there, except for maybe some of you now. So we will see. By the way, this is Psychonauts 2 gameplay. I've been playing this for like a week or two. And I'm swapping off. It's me and my girl, right? And points if you can tell who's playing at what time.
So do you
This
want
is
to you
dealer
want to know
play.
who I thought? Do you want to know what I thought it was tomorrow? What I think people are going to be in tune for? And it's because again we are talking about relationships. I think Jeff Grubb talked about that Xbox and Kojima signed a letter of intent, and Kojima and Keighley are extremely close. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see something come out like that. That's just my own head going
Mhm.
through it. seen something with Xbox and Kojima having like basically announcing, hey, we signed a letter of intent, but not saying it that way. Like, hey, he's bringing a game that's exclusive, kind of like what he did with Death Stranding, right? Like they announced Death Stranding like 3 or 4 years before it even came out, right? Like they announced it right because when you get somebody like Kojima, even if you don't like him or if you don't like his games or whatever, he's a massive name. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see that tomorrow. Like again, this is not. I don't know if this is happening. I don't know. This is me, Zalker, just talking out of my ass.
Yeah,
just talking out of my ass.
That's just something you're putting together, like you said.
Yeah.
Why would you not show that stuff in the first day when everyone's attention is on the show?
Again,
because
it's Keighley, because it's
on
Keighley.
Microsoft. That's the problem. I understand that more eyes will be on Keighley, but still, for me, it doesn't make much sense to take away from your own show, to pull things off of your own show that is yours. Like that is what's odd to me. Like I don't care that there's more eyes the next day. There'd be more eyes on your, maybe not the show itself. Maybe people didn't tune in live as many as that's going to tune in live tomorrow. But just maybe you announce stuff on this show and people watch it after the fact online.
What if Sony has an exclusive or two to show tomorrow and Microsoft would love to counter it instead of showing repeated footage of what they've shown today? Like you got to hold something. If there's another big show the day after yours, you have to hold a couple things and maybe the mother load for that show, especially if it's bigger. I'm kind of with them. It's bummer as a fan, but overall this could pay off big. We got a show tomorrow, guys, with more games.
Maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you. I see it from a business perspective standpoint where it would make sense to show it on Keighley's show because there's going to be more eyes on it. However, at your show, you should have at least teased something. Showed a little snippet, tease us with something, and say, tomorrow on Keighley's. On his show, we have something major coming. I don't know, some lead up to it, but
yeah, that'd be nice.
Their show was really flat, man. They should have amped it up.
I always thought it was going to be a little.
Well, hang on, we're going off the rails here. Like, first and foremost, we give a shout out to all the rails are gone. 1,100 people checking us out, guys. Thank you for checking us out. We know gaming's been dead here lately, but we got some good information and some fun topics. And I want to thank all of you for checking us out live. You're part of the show. Hit the like button, tell a friend, all that good stuff. And I want to get to a few of these super chats. I'm getting too far behind. You know how that goes, okay? And then I want to come back to Mav. That was my original plan on his kind of overall things here. But we got Scooter Shooter. He says what the WTF is what the fuck is up with 343 trash? What would the game have looked like a year ago? We're going to talk about Halo later in the show, buddy. He said this is still not ready now, leadership at 343 needs to be changed out. Scooter, trust me, we're gonna get to a lot of the stuff and what's going on there. We'll have a ton of context around it, brother, but we will continue to thank you for your support. Sir X-Man, by the way, does say, hope I'm not the only one out here thinking that the Gamescom what the hell? I think that games come. You okay? You just made me repeat this. He said Microsoft to talk about how great their games are running on PC now with Game Pass. Yes, I couldn't make much sense of that. I think there's a repeated section of words in there on accident, maybe. And then Don, that's the one you read, Fonz, the Gunk. We're all looking forward to the Gunk. Does look interesting. He does have another one. He says the Humble Games X Game Pass deal is actually pretty huge. What is in that deal? Does anybody know?
Which one?
There is a Humble Games X Game Pass deal.
No.
Those are the games that were in that little trailer they showed of Humble Bundle games.
Oh, that's
like
is that what he's talking about? Yeah, that little they did like an idea at Xbox, like reel of like super small AAA games that are like, here's a couple games coming to Game Pass and that's it. And I had a feeling they were going to do that. I knew they were going to announce stuff for Game Pass. Like I thought maybe something big, but if they just announce some indies that are coming in, that's all good. It's like whatever. I think they still need something for September.
Okay, so he does say that deal looked really cool, and the xCloud gaming console announcement was cool. That's something really neat and new. So we're at least going to try that out. And then I'll get two more here, and then we'll go back. Edgar, shout out to you. He says, RDX Legends, you guys make my Tuesdays better. Plus, when I'm walking the dog or doing chores around the house, it's great to hear all of us talk about gaming and some of the awesome news out there. So do appreciate it, brother. Thank you. And then the last one here I'll get is Old Dirty Gamer. Shout out to you. He says, as long as Major Nelson wasn't on stage, I'm good. They said developers can have Xbox One, can leave Xbox One behind. Yes, developers can choose to leave Xbox One behind if they choose. They've always been able to. Their only rule is if they make an Xbox game, it has to work on both of the consoles that are of that family. So if you make an Xbox One game, it has to work on, has to be at least fire up on the One X. Doesn't have to be enhanced, but if you make a Series X game, it has to be also optimized for Series X. That's the only mandate. So
Also nice that some of these developers could, they realize that there's a large original Xbox One audience, 50 million, 60 million boxes out there, what have you, that they don't necessarily have to make the game with those consoles in mind anymore, because those consoles are now streaming those games to them. So they can make the games, quote unquote, current gen only. And your original Fat Boy VCR is playing the newest, hottest game 3 years from now. So it kind of gave the green light to these devs that somehow might not be in the know. Hey, you don't have to worry about the old guys anymore. We got you with the stream. And I thought that was pretty rad.
yeah, and it's interesting. Yeah, but Mav, give me your overall kind of takeaway. Anything that anyone didn't cover or anything that you thought should be said about the Gamescom show here before we move on. We got some other stuff. I'm going to talk about Assassin's Creed and maybe some other stuff that I'm hearing. But yeah, what are your kind of takeaways there?
I'm going to keep it short. I wrote down my points here just to make sure we can get through to the next topics. I give it a 3.26 out of 10.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Maz wants
yeah.
fireworks.
Like,
Where was the concert? I'm kidding. Go ahead.
There was they filled it up with DLC, right? I'm sick of these kind of things being filled up with DLC. At least come up with something. You know what I mean? I do think Paris and I forget the other host name. They did a really good job. I think that nobody can say Flight Sim is not a game now. That's a thing because it actually has competitive racing in it. So
weird how people
definitely,
say
if
that anyway.
that's what your asterisk is, remove that. For me, the star of the show was Xcloud. That's the biggest news and takeaway for me from this. I was expecting the Gunk to make a bigger appearance, and I was expecting Halo Infinite to at least give us a date, but I think I know why we didn't get it. Because I saw this on Twitter and it made complete sense. I don't remember who posted this, but this was a pre-recorded show, and we all know that they were waiting on the release date for Call of Duty to drop, and that only happened a couple days ago, right? So if this was pre-recorded, they may have not actually had time to make the big thing in this show and had planned to put it in the live show all along. So that may be what the plan was and why they did it this way.
Wasn't tomorrow's show pre-recorded as well?
No, it's
Pre-recorded later.
It's live tomorrow?
I thought. I don't know. That's what somebody said. It was live.
They can always
I'm not
add
sure.
stuff into this pre-recorded stuff too,
Yeah.
though. I don't, or make a tweet.
Yeah, I don't know,
or something.
man.
When you
and the
mentioned
Perfect
the
Dark.
Go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. The Perfect Dark thing. Remember that was first premiered at the Game Awards, right?
Yeah.
So if there
yeah.
was some kind of connection there, like Keeley, that would be a possibility. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I think we're going to get the Infinite release date tomorrow.
I think we should get. Well, they got to tell us the damn release date sometime soon. Shit.
It's the only big release this holiday that doesn't have a release date, right?
They have to give us some gameplay, man. Give us a little snippet of the campaign. The game is a little ways out. Like when's it coming out? October what? What's the date? Oh, we don't know.
We don't know. It's just a few months away, though.
Yeah, but still, you should show something. Now's the time to show it where you got some eyes on it. Show the damn campaign. We already know that we're not going to get the co-op. So just show us what you got, man.
Well, let me read you something here that I read before the show. This comes from the fan tweet Twitter account, Xbox News. It says, to qualify for award nomination at Gamescom tomorrow, approximately 10 minutes of Halo Infinite gameplay video has been submitted in accordance with entry requirements.
Nice.
So are they saying 10 minutes of gameplay footage tomorrow?
That's what I heard. You read Fonz. That's what I heard.
And why do they need 10? Why is that an entry requirement? Because they never showed 10
I
minute
don't
demos
understand
there.
that. Yeah, I don't understand entry requirement thing. Like,
Huh.
I don't get. I'm not 100% with this tweet, but I'm saying they're trying to tell me that there will be 10 minutes of gameplay at Gamescom.
But they
tomorrow.
never
Well,
showed. Why is that an entry requirement, though? Like,
I don't know. That's what I can't understand.
Or maybe that's just
know
what they
that
submitted
happened.
because they want to show you the chunk. But
I know the Xbox news guys, they watch the podcast. So if you guys are in there right now, just comment in the comment section and let us know what it's about.
So if there's 10 minutes shown tomorrow, that's a great thing. I'm hoping they do something like that and it looks good for the campaign. That's what I want. So,
well, I got to give a shout out to Titan Drago. Shout out to you, brother. Nix, wow. We've also got Spider-Man 356, Dark CMF, the Indie Gamer, Matthew Hazelhurst. Shout out to you, Jayhawk. We've got Eternal Umbrum, as well as Noof Nukem. Shout out to you, Scott Rayner, and LevelSnack.com. I do not know the website. Please do not go there. I have no idea what's there, okay? Don't Google it. No, shout out to all those guys and everyone else as well. Sir X-Man, by the way, is a follow-up. He says, sorry, dealer, I'm at work, but I wish Microsoft would have actually talked more about their games on PC. They are optimized perfectly when you download for Game Pass. So that, what do they mean by that? That's like the NVIDIA experience where they kind of turn on settings, turn off automatically depending on what you want.
Like knows what rig you're running on, maybe some kind of a smart delivery via PC.
I think it's just it's just what NVIDIA probably does there, where they let you determine like if you need better performance, right? A lot of people say this game's smoother on Xbox than my PC. You probably got your settings way too high or your resolution way too high, and it probably just automatically does that stuff for you if you don't really know what you're doing.
Dealer, concerning the whole thing about that tweet and the accordance to that, well, whatever. Philly Eagle has something to say in the chat. He said maybe it's 10 minutes not for the public, but 10 minutes to show those who are voting. But I don't get that. Why now? Like why?
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Philly's right, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't really watch Jeff Keighley's shows or any of that stuff, so I don't. Unless there's Xbox stuff there, right? So, I mean, I'll be watching whatever it is tomorrow, but every time I see it, there's some weird shit going on. Turn the channel, turn it back, and there's fucking someone juggling, and then I go back, and there's a piece of a game of some kid with, weird animal ears saving the world, and then I turn it again, there's Monster Truck Rally, I turn it again, and someone's singing. So I don't never know what's going on in that damn show. I just want games, man.
It may be because they don't have hands-on this year. So maybe this is their way around having awards like we need 10 minutes of gameplay because we can't actually play it.
That's weird. How can you base a game show award like out of 10 minutes of video?
I don't agree with it. Game. I'm just trying to think of if I was in their head trying to have an award show, and I can't play the game. I guess that would maybe be their next best solution.
That's terrible.
Video.
Bon's Xberg has one that has something to do with that if you want to read it.
Which one?
Xberg. Yeah.
Would the 10-minute Halo requirement secure the game's place if it launches after November 15th? The requirement wouldn't be needed if launched before the 15th.
Oh, thank you for that enlightenment, sir. So maybe that's why, maybe not.
And maybe so that 10 minutes, we may not even see that in the public at all. If all we get is a Halo release date, that's a fail to me. I'm sorry. They need to show gameplay to this game a few months before launch. I'm sorry.
I guess they have. They showed the chunk last year. Other than that, has there really been any campaign? They showed the little bitty piece at the beginning of this thing over their summer event, but I don't know. Like, they're not hyping this thing up really, so I can't really sit there and hammer them for any of that.
If they don't hyping it up though.
But if they don't show something tomorrow and they don't give us any more information, this game's coming out like late November, man.
And it's coming in hot.
Yeah.
I'll just say this.
This is the last big show, isn't it?
Go ahead,
I'm going to say this really quick about the Halo thing. Xbox isn't traditionally somebody that brings out a lot of gameplay, but lately they've been changing that. Last year they did show a crap ton, even though people criticized it, of Halo Infinite, which is great to see. And to be honest, I think it actually helped the game even more because the criticism they got made them delay it, which I'm happy about, because a delayed game, it's no such thing as a bad delayed game. Like, it's always good to get more time in the oven. But this year, again, they showed some Forza footage. They showed a lot of it, and they've always done that. And tomorrow, if there is a Halo thing, I don't know if it's going to be 10 minutes. I'd be happy with like a 5 minute. I'd be happy with a freaking release date, because I am excited for it. The co-op stuff that we've talked about, all that other stuff that we've seen, and the co-op and all that. Yeah, it's annoying, but at the end of the day, it is Halo. I am excited for it. I'm even playing through Halo 3 right now. But to go into it, I do want to see Xbox bring out more gameplay footage. They have to start doing that. I understand that you want to show a little bit here. This was the same problem with Gears 5, if you remember. A lot of people were like, "What's going on with the damn campaign?" I distinctly remember that. And everybody was like, "Remember, it's like 5 hours."
Yeah,
all
those
that
fucking
stuff.
idiots.
And
Shout
it
out to all the
those
idiots who was trying to spread that bullshit about Gears 5 being 5 hours.
So when you don't show things to people, other people will just make shit up. So it's just not good. So just show something, be completely upfront, which, to be honest, Xbox is the most transparent company we've seen in a very long time. So I'm looking forward to if they're going to show anything tomorrow, if it's Perfect Dark, Halo, whatever it is, just show something pretty cool, especially for Halo, because it is coming this year, and we need to see what you've done to change up the campaign. They showed us that big panoramic view during E3 where there was no pop-in. I think that was directly towards the critics of people saying, like, hey, look at the pop-in. The game's going to be in better shape, 100%, people. But we're looking forward to just seeing a little gameplay of the campaign, seeing what's going on. And I think you can actually kind of temper people's annoyance with the co-op thing, showing a little bit of this game, even if it's solo, and your Master Chief doing some mission for like 6 minutes. That will completely cool any of the criticisms because people will just be enamored in it. Because Halo has that it factor for me, right? It has that it thing where you see it, you're like, I need to freaking play this game. That's what Halo is. That's what the Master Chief has. So get that going tomorrow if it's there. If not, bring it out before the game comes out because I guarantee you if it's good, it looks awesome and plays awesome, people will forget about the co-op thing. People will just be excited and you will dominate this holiday season because the competition has nothing right now.
You know what tells me everything, the state of the game? It tells me that this game came out when it was originally supposed to come out. It was going to be an episodic type of game. They were just going to release the multiplayer and then, give us Forge and then give us campaign and then give us co-op because they've had a lot of time to work on this game. And the fact that, the single player.
We're going to come back to all that. We're going to come back to that topic. We got a structure here going on. Let me give a shout out to
Off the rails.
Let me give a shout out to Z Black Rider. And this says 8 out of 10 for the Gamescom thing. Life is too short to be so jaded. Sir, did you give Xbox's event a couple months ago a 20 out of 10 or something? Sir, I tell you what, there's a much more than 2 points between those two events. But hey, you're allowed to have your opinion, and I'm not mad over it. That's the important thing, right? So I'd probably give it, from what I know and seen of it, I can't even give a real assessment, but it wouldn't be something that I'd be, super thrilled with, especially. But I didn't expect anything really out of it. And I just think that the thing that I would say is that if you're going to do something like that, do something from a title that, more guys are probably a little hyped for. And if they did that, I guarantee you nobody in the chat would complain. They'd be even happier with the event. And I don't think people are allowed or should be bashed or whatever for not being happy that they didn't do it. If you'd be happier if they did do it as a fan, how come people can't be less happy because they didn't do it? And the only thing you can say is because they didn't really hype it up or say any of that stuff. And that's true. And that's why I'm not really upset at it, I don't know. I just, I don't know. Bernard, by the way, he does say 7 out of 10. But 5 minutes on a, he put a period there, on a trebuchet. He said, but 5 minutes on a trebuchet, Xbox can do better. It is kind of like they had a certain time block and they're like, we have to fill this out no matter what. Drag the trebuchet in. So I don't know what's up with the trebuchet. Whose idea that was, I have no idea. Chivalry 2, you've seen it on this podcast, though. That game is fun. It's a lot of fun. Dark CMF also says, yo, feeling mostly better. Yeah, man, I heard from you in a minute, man. I hope you're doing all right. He says, feeling better. Hope to be back online sometime during this next week. Awesome, brother. He says, great show as always. Thank you very much. And we're thinking about you, man. Hopefully you feel better. And I think, we can give a shout out to Yodani, or not Yodani, Youngie. I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you very much. So again, that's kind of the, anyone else? Gamescom
let's move
chat,
on.
okay? Because I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. Let's talk about some.
But again, tomorrow, just to cap it, right? Halo is most likely. That's what a lot of people are saying behind the scenes. But I did hear Perfect Dark. No idea if that's true. Just take that with a fucking grain of salt for now. Hey, Fonz, Ghost of Tsushima, they got a PS4 save transfer button
Woo!
in the
Let me tell you
PS5
how
version.
great this-
Now,
let me
I
tell you how
gotta say
great
it though.
this transfer-
I gotta say
Okay,
it though.
go,
You
go.
gotta remember that when Sony didn't let people transfer their saves and they didn't do it automatically and they didn't even give you an option to do it unless you were a PS Plus member, those guys defended it and damage controlled it all day long. But now they're praising Sucker Punch for doing this with a little button press.
Yes. Innovation at its finest. We are moving into the 20 freaking 5th century with this innovation here. Think about this, guys. So you boot up a PlayStation 5 game and you're looking to transfer your old PS4 saves into the future to your PS5. Now, in this game, anyway, this one game, there's a button right on the menu screen.
Oh shit!
Transfer PS4 saves.
Yeah, and it
You hit
mostly
it.
works.
You hit it, and if you have your PS4 save on your console, it'll upgrade it. it'll put it into the game. So you have to have your PS4 save anyway.
On your console.
You want to go into the process
On
of
your
getting that
console.
done, Fonz?
But at least you
It
don't
can't
have
be
to
in
do
the
it
cloud.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe it could be in the cloud. I don't know.
If you already have to put it in the cloud or already have to
'Cause
have
I
it on your
already had-
console, what's the
I
point of
already
this?
had it on my console. Well,
Start
maybe you
spec-
can do it in the cloud. Maybe you can. I don't know because I already had mine on my console. But you still had to transfer it over because it is not aware that this is a PS5 director's cut. So to go from PS4 to PS5, the game, you have to transfer your saves or else you start over. So it's having that button in the game. So whether you get it from the cloud or it's already on your console, you have to hit that transfer button. Because if you don't, you start over.
That's so
So
stupid.
innovation at its finest, folks. They one-upped Xbox with everything they had going on with smart delivery, but I'm joking. But yeah, it's just so strange. It really is. I don't know why people are like talking this up like it's the next thing going out there, and it's such a big feature. It's not.
Because
It's a
Fonz, I
transfer
think
button right there.
they honestly don't understand the way that it works on Xbox. Because when I got my PS5 and I was trying to find my saves, I was like, "Oh no!" I started Ghost, and I was like, "Why is it starting from the beginning?" I thought I had my saves in the cloud, so I actually reached out to
No,
people on
bitch, it's
Twitter and,
sunny out. You ain't getting no clouds today. You got to start
You
from the
gotta
beginning.
You got to go into the settings and then download them to the console, right? Then
extra
you
step.
have them. It's like why so backwards? Like, why not just pull the saves
Because
automatically?
before
from the cloud?
Microsoft thought of it and decided that this is something that should be done across the board, nobody was fucking doing it, and nobody else is still doing it, really.
Look, there's a guy in the chat. I'm not even going to mention his name because he's like damage controlling and just using the whole. Well, Ghost of Tsushima is a better game than anything on Xbox. Okay, that's your opinion.
It's
I love Ghost of
literally
Tsushima.
not.
No, I love Ghost of Tsushima, and personally, I like it better than most games on Xbox. Probably all games on Xbox. Personally, that's just me. But don't damage control like that because this is a severely lacking feature when you compare it to the Series X or S, or even the One X, or even the Xbox One. Okay, the feature sets on the PlayStation 5 don't hold a candle to the Xbox features. Period. There's nothing like that on PlayStation. PlayStation needs to step it up big time when it comes to features. They have fantastic games. I love them, but they don't hold a candle to the Xbox Series X, One X, One, any of the consoles. They've always just had your saves there. They've always been in the cloud. Smart delivery is working for, these consoles. It just works. You turn it on, there's your save. I don't understand why PlayStation just can't get it right. I mean, how many years did they take? 15 years to get your names changed on PlayStation? Like, they're so behind in so much.
Sony as a software company, they're just not up to par with Microsoft. It's just the reality of it. And I remember back to what were they called? What were those laptops called? Was it Viao? What the hell were they called? The laptops that they had?
Bio.
But they had. Yeah. So they had those laptops. Those laptops were horrible, the software implementation on it. So Sony, this is just a part of them. Their software is just not up to snuff, man. And you would think that the PlayStation 5's been out for so long now that they would be, fast tracking all this shit. and people touting this fucking feature that should be there automatically as it's some big thing, and it's still not seamless. You still got to activate it. It's just ridiculous. Like we're getting the trials for the SSDs, and they're not even confident enough to release it in the wild. They're still beta testing this thing. Like, I don't know. When it comes to, you're right. When it comes to the feature sets of the Series X and Series S, Sony does not.
No.
They don't stand up. They just don't.
The PlayStation 5 is far behind the Xbox when it comes to features. Far behind, and they're never going to catch up. They're never going to catch up. It's just not going to happen.
Well, let's we went from Ghost of Tsushima DLC to features. For the DLC, it's a great 3-hour experience. So I'm glad people.
Why are you toxic
I'm on almost 16 hours now, and I have not beat the 3-hour experience because there's so much side content.
Because you're trying to transfer your save still.
No. I love the game. The DLC is phenomenal, and I knew going in I was going to get a lot of hours out of it, and I am. It's fantastic. But we got off on a tangent there on the feature sets because that button is what brought us there.
It's like, people are damage controlling the fact that Sony, instead of just saying, "Hey, Sony, please do this thing," that'd be awesome. They'd make excuses or divert.
But hey, you know what? I will say this: that button at least helps. If they do put that button in all their PS5 games going forward like that to bring their transfers, from their old saves, so be it. Do it. That's what they have to do.
When did they do that? When did they put that in, Fonz? Because I remember on Twitter.
Yeah.
On Twitter, they had actually released instructions on the Ghost of Tsushima account
on
how to transfer your saves.
Yeah.
So I actually took a notepad and saved all that information because of knowing I was going to have to do that. Right. Then I lost it. So I was like, oh crap. but knowing this now, I'm excited. I can just hit the button. So hey, yeah, that is at least a step up.
At least it's better, right? And
Yep.
But it's just funny that they're talking it up like it's the next big thing. It's just
after not really giving a shit when Sony wasn't doing it directly at all.
Yeah.
They just made excuses.
Honestly, one of the biggest news items that's not on the topic list about PlayStation 5 is that they released a new PS5 console. Like kind of stealthily in the UK and the United States, like they
released a new console.
Like little features to it, like you don't need a screwdriver anymore for the stand. It's like has like things, and then it's lighter. It's like almost
the Xbox edition. I like it.
Like no, they just did all this like little tweaks to it, and they're shipping it, and people are like, wait, hold up. And so a lot of people in Australia, UK saw it, and they're like, this is a new, like it's not designed differently, but it's lighter. They brought out for the screw, like a bunch of other little things. And Sony's already changing the console, and I'm sure it's to like cut costs and get more products out there. But yeah, that I saw that like like everywhere. Everybody was like kind of like, oh hey, wait, what's going on here? So yeah, remember those redesigns we were talking about a few months ago? Those are probably just shipping, and Sony hasn't said anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sir X-Man said Microsoft give me cloud saves on PC, Xbox, and mobile. Yeah, they got to figure it out. So maybe that memorandum will help Sony after all. Never know. Never know. Somebody's asking about a Take-Two thing. I don't think Colt just ran with something that wasn't even really implied. Maybe, I don't know. We'll maybe come back to that at some point. There's also some stuff I'm hearing about Assassin's Creed, and we talked about this 6 months ago or something. It's free to play, fucking online multiplayer. And, again, we'll talk about it again because it just continues to persist. And it's Ubisoft. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? They're going to be bringing in areas different areas from previous games. And you're going to have microtransactions. So how do you feel about that, Fonz?
It sucks. It's dumb. And we knew that was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when they started announcing they were going to do this with Assassin's Creed and some of their other games, immediately, that's what I thought. Microtransaction City, here we come. This is what we love about you, Ubisoft. Not. I really am just, look, I'm kind of jaded when it comes to this stuff because, I hate them to begin with in any game. But no, microtransaction, I think they're just despicable. It's I know a lot of people out there say, well, I ain't got time to do this. I like to pay my way through the game and stuff. And it's like, look, okay, that's for you. But when games start to shape themselves around these microtransactions, hello, Ubisoft, It seems like that's one of the things they're going to start doing here. It's like they want you to continue to buy these microtransactions. So how do we do it? You know, let's piecemeal some stuff out and throw a bunch of microtransactions along the way. And let's, you know, hope these guys just go for it. And I for one, don't like it. I'm not going to go for it. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I just don't think they're going in the right direction.
I gotta call bullshit because from what I've seen of Ubisoft in their games, like they release massive games, right? Like you can get like no. Valhalla by itself, you can get like 120 hours out of. Odyssey is one of the biggest games, and the only microtransactions I've seen from them through Phoenix and everything is cosmetic. So it's like if you want your person to look cool, sure you could buy it. From what I've heard of the Infinite Halo or Assassin's Creed Infinity or Assassin's Creed Infinite, whatever it's called, that is being done by the team that did Odyssey and did Phoenix Rising and another team, like another studios.
There's a fuck ton of teams on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the Quebec team is like the one leading it. From what was.
So what
announced.
are you calling bullshit on?
Well, I'm calling bullshit on like the microtransaction
being built around the microtransactions. I don't see it.
Oh,
I don't see it either.
I mean,
like,
I just know that it's a free-to-play Assassin's Creed game that it's a multiplayer based and
okay. Let me bring you back to
probably going to be filled to the brim with
MT. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Selling an XP booster isn't enough. If that's all you're doing is selling an XP booster, it's not enough to accuse them of developing the entire game.
Is freaking huge for people though, and so many people bought it because
don't have patience.
Hey, what the fuck is happening? It's a fucking game. We're talking about XP boosters. It's not worth fucking bickering like.
Oh no!
Jesus.
The thing is they're pulling the XP booster was there because they padded that game so hard.
At launch before the patch, there were some people not having.
Not me. A lot of people were complaining that they made it to where you had to grind too much. You don't remember all those complaints?
Yes, you have to do side quests, and there's too many fucking gamers out there that want to go from main mission to main mission to main mission to main mission to main mission and roll the credits. And sorry, that's not enough to beat the game. It's not. I don't think this is a problem, nor is it getting in the way of people that want to enjoy Assassin's Creed and get a lot of time, like say Zocker out of it. For the guys like the example you gave yourself that don't have the time, but certainly have the money, that's why it's there. To accuse them of designing an entire game around padding and stuff just because there's an XP booster, I think is obscene.
Well, he didn't accuse them. He said that it's an example of how they could.
It's an example of how they do it. Not doing it.
They could, but aren't doing it. They're not currently designing the game around that.
I think he's allowed to just throw that out there as a possibility. Is he not?
Yeah.
He said they are, not could, are.
Okay.
I was
to me, I think it's a little bullshit because everybody's saying that like, oh, microtransactions. This was the same shit being thrown at Xbox. Like, all other games as a service and microtransaction. Yet they didn't have anything that altered the game. Like, I'm sorry, when I was playing Odyssey, it was when the height of the XP booster would have been in effect, right? And they were getting the most hate. But in reality, like me and you, dealer, were sitting here going like, wait, what level are you? How far are you? Like me and dealer were like,
I mean, and that's the thing. Like I'm on Shady's side when it comes to some of this because I was playing Odyssey like crazy in Origins before a lot of the issues that were because a lot of this is perpetuated by YouTube when one big channel would make a hate video on Odyssey and then another one would see that and say I can do that and they would coast off that shit and get recommended all this dumb shit they do with all these negative doomsday videos they do. And they blew microtransactions out of proportion with Odyssey. Fonz found out firsthand that was not a big deal. He was hating on the game and he played it and he's like, wow, one of the best games of the generation. And a lot of people skipped on Odyssey because of this stuff. And my point is some people, yes, they want to do only main missions. And guess what? If you play Witcher 3, you want to only do certain missions. You want to do certain things. You got to be certain levels, just like in Odyssey. But how I play RPGs, I like to do side stuff. And main stuff and side stuff, and I think Fonz is just posting as a possibility.
Yeah, go ahead. I just got through telling somebody in the chat about Ghost of Tsushima. He's like, oh yeah, but looking at scenery isn't playing the game. No, I am playing side missions. There's plenty of side missions to be had. That's the way I play these types of games. I play all the side missions and then I get into the main story stuff because I don't want to finish it right away. Now, before Shady had a stroke earlier, I was going to tell him that I didn't believe that about Odyssey. I played Odyssey and found out firsthand, and I said, you know what? These people buying XP boosters are claiming that, you need XP boosters were over the top. But my point was people are going out there with this logic, this narrative, and they're putting it out there, and they're swaying people from buying these games, from trying these games, because they're telling them, hey, you need this, this, and this. The game is completely padded. You can't do this without the XP boosters, or you can't go here without them, blah, blah, blah. They did that like crazy, and they're going to continue to do that. This is not a good thing when you add more and more microtransactions into a game, because it is going to put that narrative out there. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
What they're
And
doing,
it does get people to buy it. There are people who buy this stuff in our community. Friends of ours that talk to us here also tell us, yes, I buy those because I don't have time to play the game the way you do. So I don't like them because people do buy them.
what they're doing too, though, is they're getting away from even selling games to only making free-to-play stuff, right? So that way it's more excusable. And they're in the future, they're pretty much already said in the earnings call that almost all their games are going to be free-to-play with monetization model as going forward with all their franchises. X-Defiant, Heartland, Assassin's Creed. That's the reality that they're moving forward. And from everything I've heard about the new Assassin's Creed game coming out, it's going to be that multiplayer, free-to-play type experience that is built around microtransactions and stuff. So if that's what you want from your Ubisoft games going forward, then that's cool. But personally, I've always seen Ubisoft, and especially the Clancy brand in Assassin's Creed, as more of like a realistic, gritty, focused and because they're trying to fit things into this model, they got to figure out how to design these games around monetization. It's changing the core of what the games actually are. And Ubisoft has always done this. That's why everything became open world at one time. That's why everything is now becoming
Everything had a tower. Everything now has a fucking snow cap that gives you +5 to defense.
Yeah, once Rainbow Six Siege's seasonal content worked for them, you're going to see that with everything else, and even Rainbow Six Extraction has aliens in it, right? That's a Rainbow Six game.
You need 100 leathers to build this, and a million freaking diamonds to do that. Like, and they sell that stuff on their site. So, like, people
Ubisoft's
do
lost their
spend
identity
for that.
Well,
yeah, I'm not gonna see. I'll be real with you. I'm not gonna pocket watch anybody. If somebody's gonna buy shit, they're gonna buy shit. I don't care.
Watch my pockets.
Yeah,
like,
but
it affects the game. But it does not.
The game.
How does it?
Yeah, it does.
How did it affect?
Hey, just
hold on,
Zucker said he's not going to pocket watch, and somebody.
Listen, I'm not going to pocket watch, and I'm going to say this right now. As a person that played all of Origins, played all of Odyssey, and plays Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm one of the 70 million people that have. Like, I'm sorry. I don't think their games are freaking packed around.
It's not about those games.
It's just one at a time here. So Zucker says that he's okay and he's just going to play what he likes.
And what I'm saying to Zucker is these games are tailored around those microtransactions because they are preying on people who may not want to spend all the time you do, Zucker.
You know what Ubisoft thinks is a microtransaction?
Look, 100 leather for this and, a billion freaking coins for that. And they sell those things. There's a reason why you need all those things. It's because they know that if you don't want to spend time hunting this stuff down, people will buy them. And that is why it's built around that stuff.
I want to hear from D. D hasn't said anything in a while.
Yeah, I think if it's cosmetic, honestly, it's cosmetic. Like, I understand some guys are grinding in the game and they've grinded for freaking hours to get this one fucking crest. I get it. And, you're upset that this guy just comes in and, plops $5 down and all those hours that you put into the game were for nothing because this guy could just buy it. I get it. But if it doesn't affect the core gameplay, like the game itself, it's not, pay to win, they can do whatever they want. If they're going to make the game free to play and it doesn't affect the gameplay, it's all cosmetic, I really don't care at the end of the day. I don't care how somebody else plays the game. I don't care that they grinded 20 hours to get this crest and I have the option to get it for $5. As long as it doesn't affect the gameplay, the core gameplay, it is what it is. It doesn't affect me.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. A big deal. And that's what I'm saying, because a lot of this stuff is like Ubisoft. One of the things they think is microtransaction is something like the Siege of Paris, which is DLC with more story. Like, they've said it, like, hey, Valhalla's going to get way more stuff. We want to be games as a service where we just give you more content within the world you're already playing. So everything we saw with the Wrath of the Druids, we see with the Siege of Paris, we saw with Odyssey and everything like that, that's part of their plan, is to give you stuff that they can release through the year to give the game longevity. So you do buy DLC, so you do go play the game, but you don't have to. It doesn't affect you at all in the main game. Now, as for this way they're going to be doing Infinite or Infinity, whatever it's called, like, I'm looking forward to it, because not only did they say, hey, we're trying to expand this where one mission you could be playing in Paris, another one you could be playing in Rome, in different time zones. Like, how are they going to tie that all together? To me, it sounds sick. Like,
And
I
you're
want
going to have to
that.
pay for each of those, right?
No, they haven't announced anything on that. I don't know if you're going to pay for each of them or
you're
it's
going to
free
have to
to
pay for
play.
each of those things. You're going to have
Well,
to pay
no,
for it.
well, hold
But
on,
until
hold
they
on.
until they
It's
do,
not
like,
free.
it's not worth bickering like bitches over. You know?
It's not free.
Yeah. I don't. I think we should all be able to disagree without getting upset. I think that's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm not upset at all. I'm just.
I'm just saying in general.
just talking
You know,
about
I
it.
just think, you
No,
know, if they do it,
You
they
said
do
bring
it.
the passion.
I
It's
wanna see a
passion.
fight.
I like the passion, but God, you guys, come on now. It's Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft are bound to fuck it up like they have before, and we'll see if this is one of those times. But until then, I'm not going to freak out. I'm not a big fan of microtransactions because I know what it means historically, and that's not debate. And at the end of the day, there are games that do it better than others, and I just hope Ubisoft is at the right place to do it the better way. You know, until then, I can't be upset. Not upset because I haven't seen it in front of me yet. So, yeah, some people love this stuff, some people don't, and they may even change how it's done altogether. I want to hope for the best, I'll tell you that. I don't want to live in like a negative mindset about it. I just don't know. I haven't played it, and we don't know how they're bringing it together. Like Battlefield, right? Perfect example. Before that presser that I was invited to see Battlefield Portal and all that stuff in advance, I was like, man, what are they doing with this? 7 maps. I know they're bigger, but you know, in a multiplayer, I still don't agree with the price hike because it's not even that on PC. It's not that price anywhere. But when I saw Portal and I understand what Ripple Effect we're building to add to Battlefield 2041, right? That blew my mind that day. And I was hinting at it, you know, up until the official reveal. Like, this is so much more than we ever thought it was going to be in Battlefield 21. And until we see the full product, like, you just really can't know sometimes. That was the exception, not the rule, but it was a hell of an exception.
I just have reservations when it comes to anything going from traditionally, like, say, a base regular game to live service. You know, I have reservations against that.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah. I wait for more details, you know, like, let's just all wait for more details, see what it is, and hopefully it's good, because that's what I want. I want something good.
No, you don't. You want shit games.
Hell
Screw
yeah.
that. Let's fight.
No, that's why we're here, though, Zocker, to speculate. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, we like speculation.
I don't mind like free to play stuff, but I also want the other stuff too. I just don't want
I'll say-
everything to be that. You know what I mean? Like that's
I'll
what
say
I'm
that-
afraid of.
I'll say this, Fonz, though. I see where your distrust is coming from, because let's just be honest here. It's Ubisoft, and we know that they are greedy, and we know that they can mess things up. So, you know, I am hoping for the best. I'm trying to keep a positive, you know.
You know what I'm hoping
Am I
for, Heath?
tripping?
I'm
Am I
hoping-
tripping? Like, I never saw Ubisoft as crazy greedy. I always saw EA or Activision as these greedy people, or 2K.
No.
They're all
Like all the-
they're all
Here's
that
the
way.
thing.
I mean, I get they're all greedy, but I've always felt
Yeah.
like, man,
I'm
everything
hoping-
I've paid for
They're
Ubisoft,
not the
I've
most
gotten good
expensive
value.
agent.
Here's the thing I'm hoping for, and for D's sake, I'm hoping they go back and boost Origins to 60 frames so he could be vindicated years later. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I heard 60
Hey, I
frames.
told you.
They told me 60
Told you
frames.
it
There was
was
a guy at the
coming.
booth.
I told you it was coming in
I
5
got the
years.
dates mixed up. They
Hey.
said 2021.
I remember D called me, right? He called me when he's talking like, because he was at an event playing Origins before it came out, right? And they had a guy there like telling everyone about the game. Turns out it was just some fuckface. They paid like $10 to sit there and just make sure people don't steal stuff or something. I don't know. But he told D-Bash the game was going to be 60 frames, and D-Bash told everyone else, and then D-Bash got in trouble.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
That was a epic L. I've been wearing it for 5 years. Let it go.
Yes. Shout out to Valorian, Philly Eagle, Eternal Umbra again, 9 Lives, Stephanie. We've also got Pixel Slappa, only on Xbox, and Duvy, who does say the following. Hang on, I got to let this scroll up some here because it's trying to do its own thing. MTX is most games are fine. Microtransactions in most games are fine, but games like NBA 2K, yes, it's atrocious.
that's
If you're into
terrible.
the Vince Carter coins, right, VC, then yeah, you're getting fucked. I play with the real
That's the
players,
way
so
not
I
to
don't,
do it.
I don't know, I don't experience that stuff. I'm still not for it because it doesn't affect me. But
yo.
it is bad.
1 second, something just came up on Twitter. Jeff Keighley tagged Tim Dog, actually, panel member. He tagged him and just said, "Are you ready?" Or "You ready?" He just tagged him, and that's all he said to Tim Dog for I guess tomorrow. So
Yeah, Tim Dog's ready.
That's where Tim is. He's with Phil. Oh, okay.
No, I was just talking to Tim, actually texting him, but Tim couldn't be here this week. He was at a family thing. I made the joke to him, man. I know we're going to be talking about this co-op thing, but that don't mean you got to keep on the shows, But yeah, no, he's with family, and he will be back next week. And tomorrow we will see exactly what they're going to be doing, but it should be interesting.
Nice.
Anyway,
Jeff Keighley, his uncle.
Uncle Keeley. Shout out again, Doobie. He says games like NBA 2K, which allow you to actually play or pay for boosts, especially the stamina ones. I'm hearing those are pretty bad, which make differences in online play is trash. Yes, sir. Again, I don't experience that. That doesn't mean I'm sitting here damage control. Like that's there's definitely no excuse for that kind of stuff.
2K's the worst. Like you gotta pay for a damn haircut. Like what are we doing?
Yeah, you got to give real money for some socks, man.
EA and Ultimate Team 2 is really
yeah,
bad.
This
Mav
sounds way different. This sounds way different than anything Ubisoft brings out, man. That's freaking terrible. I want a buzz cut. It's gonna be $60.
Bitch. Come back to me when you find some more
buy
sticks.
socks.
It takes 7 bundled sticks to get this haircut.
Ooh, fucking weird.
Trade you 6 carrots.
I'd rather have Splinter Cell than X Defiant. Just throwing that out there.
Hey, we are due for a Splinter Cell, man. We are due.
Next topic.
Kirby Louise Butter says it's easier to transfer saves between Switch than it is PS4 and PS5. I'm not kidding. He says this absolute state of Sony. So apparently it's just because Nintendo copy or they save everything to the product license or something like that, like the console serial number or something, don't they? Like 2005 Xbox shit still. I think that's what they do still. So Nintendo has definitely not come forward much in that regard. Drix, shout out to him. Check him out on iTunes, by the way. $20 super set. He says, sending you guys positive energy, hoping for Halo tomorrow. Yes, sir. I'm just hoping.
Can we get into the Halo topic right now? The co-op.
Well, let me get this one and then we can. Okay. Anthony, shout out to you. He says, why don't they show the same gameplay sequence, but with the update graphics? They did. Well, you're talking about the one from 2020. So he's saying, why don't they just show 2020s again, but in the modern day graphics? I mean,
he's saying, yeah, like after the year of upgrades, can you imagine how many videos will be out of just
zooming in on like the grunt's nipple? Like, look, there's less hair. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh my god,
I wouldn't doubt it, man. Like,
grunt's nipple.
You know what's so bad, man, is when places like Digital Foundry like complain that people are about a console war or arguing. It's like, you guys literally. So your literal job to perpetuate this, and the reason that you do certain things is because that's what people want and are talking about, and sometimes you even go out of your own way to bring things up that are eventually discussed. It's always weird to kind of hear that kind of stuff. I don't take it that seriously. I don't give a fuck, but whatever. So let's go ahead and talk about Halo's co-op getting delayed for 3 months. And in fact, Shady said it best himself in a party that it's kind of odd that they are timing this for Season 2 drop and they know exactly when it's going to be ready, right, Shady?
Yeah, it doesn't scream tech issue for me. I actually went and watched the interview where Joseph Staten releases this, and and in the tweet, they both say that we've got a year of content planned because it's a games as a service, and then they go right into saying that they made the tough call to delay campaign for Season 2 and delay the Forge for Season 3. And that, by the way, the game launches with Season 1. 3 months go by, we're at Season 2, we get co-op. 3 months more go by, we get the Forge. And then when
what
the
else
Forge
is in
season is over, nothing. It's going to be campaign with just more cosmetics and stuff that you can unlock by playing. That's all they're going to, that's the big event of Season 2 is going to be campaign co-op, everybody. It's the season of campaign co-op. And then after that will be the season of Forge. And they haven't revealed what the very last season of the first year of Halo Games as a Service will be. My guess is some kind of a firefight mode or the potential, very likely battle royale mode, so the multiplayer guys get at least something in the first year of a games as a service. But it's conspiracy. I don't work there. I have no idea at the end of the day. But I'm convinced that they made the business decision to pull this stuff to put into their seasons and quote unquote have content for us. And it also gets all the guys in podcasts talking about Halo again 3 months later, 6 months later, all the IGNs and Kotakus and GameSpots and everything else, same deal. They're all going to be writing articles 3 months in, 6 months in, because there's stuff to talk about. I think it was a calculated decision. Unfortunately, it was at the behest of, my preferred way of playing. I was taken for granted. I've been through the 5 stages of grief. I was livid at first, very, very, very upset. I was bargaining with myself. How can I make this still the best experience for me? I'll just wait. I'm not touching the fucking campaign. I'll wait until it's there, and then I'll play with my buddies, and hopefully I'm kind of forcing them to wait too. And no matter what, my launch experience has been diminished, not ruined, but diminished. I've been through, I'm at acceptance now. It's fine. I love Halo. It's my #1 franchise. I read the novels. I don't play it for the story first. I play it for the gameplay. The co-op gameplay, for me personally, is top tier. It's just top tier. And it's been there forever for Halo. So I think this was a poor decision. And even if it is a technical thing and it's not a conspiracy, they didn't pull it for games as a service. It's a tech issue. That's embarrassing, to put it polite. Okay. Very embarrassing. So I don't know. I'm on board with it. I've decided that I'm not going to miss out on Halo's hype. I'm not going to miss out on its day one. I'm going to play the thing. I'm going to play it with my brother. We'll hand off for the first 2 levels so we can still experience it together like we always have. It'll be a little bit different, but I'm not going to let this ruin me. I come to gaming to have a good time, to be in a good mood. And when little things like this happen, it can be brutal, like this was. Like it can be savagely depressing. Like I'm still not happy with it. It sucks, but I'm not going to let it now define my experience with the game. I'm just not. That I think is bullshit. It's juvenile at the end of the day. And I think if you're a true fan of something, hey, like I said, I'm not going to delete my tweets. I said I'm not touching this. I think this is horse shit. I was very upset, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to let that one thing define my experience of what I consider to be my favorite gaming franchise.
I'll agree with you
game's
there.
Perfect.
I'll agree with you there. Where I disagree with you is that you kind of laid this story out like this was planned from the beginning.
Dude,
like
I think so.
I think it was planned.
Well,
it wasn't because
said it. Like Staten said
so one at a time.
Ago. He said when we went into the state, I know when he said when we decided to go into the end part of the game, we delayed it.
Staten said it wasn't ready. How much more?
He didn't say that actually.
Yes,
they full on go into the details about how it's more complicated and everything else.
So Fonz, you're just saying that he's just set up. He just kind of laid it out there. We weren't ready for this yet.
He's not ready. He's not ready for co-op. It's not ready. So,
but they didn't give details. They didn't give details as to why.
All they said was they delayed it to make sure that it's a perfect experience for single player.
I listened to you talk for like 5 minutes, bro. Stop.
Can you let me finish then, motherfucker?
Jesus.
What is my problem, guys?
I don't know.
I don't know, bro. Taking it over.
I listened to you and I said, let me talk and let me talk to you about this.
Somebody fuck your mom. What's going on here?
Wow, this is a passionate subject. I would like to get my point across before I'm being refuted.
Pause, let him get his point across, and then you go after.
He already did. Like I waited and I started to talk.
All right. So the point, Shady's point, and a lot of people would agree, is that hey, it sucks, and I'm still going to try to enjoy the game to the best of my ability, and for the record,
I didn't use the slur font. Sorry, that was just the situation. It's just me swearing out loud, not calling you.
Okay. That's much better. I thought you were saying he was. Fonz has never done that.
No, go ahead. We swear all the time. I didn't understand your reaction, but now I do. No, it wasn't that. So my bad.
So Chad, he didn't call Fonz a motherfucker.
Look. I know what he did. I'm not stupid, but go ahead, finish your point, because I'm not even mad about any of this stuff. I'm just telling you my thoughts on it. So go ahead.
The point is right before the show, I watched what he said, and he said when we decided to go into the last leg of the game, we made the decision to delay it in order to make a perfect experience for single player and everything else. They're going to hide behind quality control because they can't be called out on that. No, to hell with you, release a broken game. No one's going to say it. So they're going to hide behind quality control, in my opinion, and I was very upfront about this is just my opinion, just my conspiracy. I do think they made the cold, calculated business decision to do this, which is why in the tweet and in the explanation, they instantly, before even announcing what was missing, they told us we have the first year laid out. And guess what? Season 2 is campaign co-op. Season 3 is Forge. To me, that reeks of a games as a service decision. They realized they did the math. It's a minority group of people that are playing co-op and feel the way I do of looking at that as an ultimate experience. I already got in my feelings about it and got very upset about it. I didn't throw my Xbox out the window. I didn't cancel any subscriptions. I'm still an Xbox gamer. I love the platform. I love the brand of like the Halo franchise. And I just had to come to terms with what it is. And I have, and that's it. And I think at the top business, they knew that's the way it was going to be. And this way they have almost a full year of quote unquote content to trickle to us with a lot of news articles being written about it on the 3-month mark, the 6-month mark, and all the podcasts that want to talk about it will as well. So I just think that's why they did it. I really don't think it's a tech issue. I think that they're a little bit more on the ball. They know what they're doing, and it's not this far into the game that they're going to have multiplayer issues on something that they've known since day one 5 years ago was going to be a cooperative game in a cooperative franchise. That's all.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it now. There's plenty of articles out there that show Joseph Staten's quote as saying these features simply aren't ready. So we've decided to hold them back and roll them out as part of future updates.
Fine, that sounds very corporate speak and a nice, polite way of saying, and it's also just being delayed because we decided we want a perfect single-player experience. Like, it's hard to argue with, launch a perfect experience. It sounds great. But if I'm missing my co-op, it's not perfect for me, and it's not perfect for hundreds of thousands of other people. So right out the gate, he's lying to me. It's not perfect. The game isn't ready. He'll right after, a little bit later, he says, we don't want to launch things that aren't ready. As in my opinion, the campaign isn't ready because the way I like to play, it's not there. So it's all from a certain point of view. And these are corporate guys. That entire interview is calculated. It was written down. They're probably reading off of teleprompters. It's not off the cuff. None of it. Every word is calculated to get a certain response. They've never once said technical issue for sure. And if it was, what you're telling me and what he's telling me is that there is no chance in hell.
What happens
for this? Hold on, please. There is no way that some team could come in tomorrow, next week, next month, 2 months from now, even before launch, a month after launch, 2 months after launch, with an epiphany and get it working. Even if it works for them tomorrow, they've told us it's not coming till season 2. So even if it is a tech issue, if they get it fixed, we don't get it for 3 months until after launch, regardless. They're not going to release
their
it.
goal.
Okay,
Is
all I could do is
Getting
tell you
corporate talk. It's a nice way of saying
said,
that.
And you're saying that it's just corporate talk. So then anything he says, you could just chalk it up to corporate talk. I mean, this is the facts. He said what he said. It's not ready. I have to go based on what he's saying about this. It's not ready. And, a lot of times when people go through like this grief process, they start to get to a point where they start thinking of ways to get over this. And when you can latch onto something like, hey, maybe this was just all planned all along. This is season 2. Now I'm okay with it.
That's a worse. No. That's a worse scenario for me.
I feel better about it.
Them deciding to pull this stuff for like a games as a service decision. If that's the reason it was done, that makes me way more angry, bro. Way more angry.
So I think that was a good capping to a lot of that stuff there, because I mean Shady, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, man. I'm just saying that I wouldn't say the games as a service. I don't think the games as a service thing is a thing.
The reason.
Hang on. Let me finish what the fuck I'm saying real quick. All right. So I don't think the games as a service thing, and just for the chat, just so you know, it's okay to disagree. All right. And somebody's allowed to be upset if there's no co-op. They shouldn't just not play it and move on. No, I want to play the fucking co-op like it's been in every game. It's like taking multiplayer out of the game or single player out of the game and not being allowed to be upset with that. That's fucking ridiculous. So co-op is massive to a lot of people. There's a ton of you out there, and we feel like those guys deserve a voice too. So I plan on playing through it at least once in co-op. Maybe not the first time, but at least once. And that's not the point. The point is it's not there. You're allowed to not like that.
Well,
so
the reason this is happening doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a tech issue or a decision. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
all we know is we're not getting it, and that's how I got over it. We're not getting it.
I don't think it matters the reason why. I think it's a combination of things. I think it could be part technical, and maybe they're just not confident on it completely.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to polish the experience a bit more, and they're going on the side of caution. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like you said, it's not coming for 3 months. We got to deal with it. It could be worse where there is no single player campaign, or it was in the state that it was last year when we had Craig looking all busted. So, they've made huge strides, and I played the beta. I know most of you guys played it, and it plays awesome. It plays like Halo. I like the way it looks. I like the way the guns feel. So everything is in the right place. 3 months to wait for the co-op isn't that bad. And I gotta address some other things too. I see some other people out there, of course, the normal Xbox detractors. They're like, oh, Halo doesn't have its co-op for 3 months. There was many Sony games, first-party games that came out that didn't have their co-op right away, that got it months later. Uncharted didn't have its multiplayer. So this is nothing new. I don't think 3 months is a really long time to wait for the co-op experience. Like I said, you can still jump in and enjoy the single player campaign. You can still enjoy the multiplayer. And in 3 months, when it comes with Forge, you're going to have some new experiences with Halo. You're going to have some new things to do, and it's going to breathe a little bit more fresh air into the game. It is what it is. We're going to get the game in the holidays. Hopefully we're going to see the game tomorrow, and we'll forget about the co-op for the 3 months that it's delayed. But it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I would say that to kind of round this off is that no one here's saying necessarily delay. Or that's not I'm glad I don't have to make those choices, right? But I will say, and I will raise the questions, what the hell were they going to launch last year? What did they put in front of co-op? What did they put co-op on the back burner for? They put that manpower on some other feature, or maybe some other polish work. And again, what the hell were they going to launch last year? So yeah, I'm just really glad that everyone in the chat, that spoke up, everyone on the shows out there, everyone on this show that spoke up about the D-Batch talking, spoke up about the Halo delay. You got to give a shout out to everybody who did get it pushed back to this year, because it's going to be a much better product. But surprisingly, and again, a lot of feel that way. It's just they don't got all the features. They don't got everything it would have. So that's unfortunate.
I'm gonna say something real quick, and we can just end the topic.
Yeah.
But for me, if I'm gonna be real, I think the way I'm criticizing it, I think everybody's criticizing it. If you're not criticizing it, then I don't know what to tell you, because the reason that we're criticizing it is because last year we criticized it and it needed that year delay. If co-op wasn't ready a whole year and a half later, and everything that happened, can you imagine what kind of Halo we would have got last year? So the criticism is justified, especially for co-op. It does suck that it's not there. I don't like it. A lot of the reasons that, they were, I get it. They knew it was going to be a big deal. They knew they were going to say it. And, they saw the numbers. Not a lot of people play it through co-op. Most people play multiplayer. I get it. That whole thing, whatever. It's a business decision. They have to make it in order to be quite honest, to just release the game. At this point, it's 6-year development, and they need to get it out. And that, to me, at the end of the day, that makes sense. So I'm still going to play it. Does it suck I'm not going to play with my friends? Yeah, it does suck, because I've never played a Halo by myself. I've always played it with friends. That's just what it's always been. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. But to be quite honest, the one thing I don't like about this whole thing is that what Staten said, was that this game is a live service game. It's never done, right? To me, that's not a good precedent to build, especially since there has been a lot of people talking about Game Pass releasing unfinished games. And if you were bringing out a bunch of story DLC and all this other stuff later, kind of like what we were talking about earlier, what Ubisoft does, I wouldn't blame you. But to me, co-op is a core mechanic, and it's a core mechanic in a lot of Xbox games, and it's a reason why I love the platform.
Yeah.
I love it because I do play with my friends. Yeah. Almost every single game that Xbox brings out has co-op in it. So I get to play those games with my buddies. That's what I see. I've always said gaming is a social aspect to me. So now I don't get that in Halo. I don't get to experience that. That to me is a core mechanic that's gone in an incomplete game.
And you're not, throwing a fit and going crazy and doing all this shit. You're just voicing your opinion.
No.
Yeah.
And when I first heard it, to be quite honest, I was actually irritated.
What?
I was very mad. I was really mad when I first heard about it. I was like, wait, what? I thought it was a damn joke. I'm not even joking. I thought it was a joke. And then when I saw that it was real, I was like, what the hell? And I'm telling you right now, that's just everybody that I know that's going to play it with me or wanted to play it in co-op don't care to play it now.
Yeah, Others Inc. says Gran Turismo Sport dropping no single player. This isn't about Sony, but you're right.
No, I don't give a damn what
Gran Turismo Sport wasn't complete and launched with a couple hundred cars. You're right, but that's not the point.
That's all I'm saying.
As an Xbox fan, guess what? Those Gran Turismo fans, they didn't really speak out. Not much of them at all that I saw. And hopefully the next one has the damn thing at launch. But it's because of a lot of you in the chat, the panel on the show, a lot of other shows that do ask for better, then Xbox has come forward and they're doing so amazingly. And if everything is just, well, you just need to do this and it's you problem, you problem, when it's clearly not, then that's what's ruining the brand. So co-op Xbox does it better than anyone. We've said this before on the show. And when their biggest title doesn't launch with it, we're going to say something about that too. And I think that's okay.
Yeah. Even like my video or even on my tweets, I've been very respectful on this. I just stuck to, my side saying, look, I don't want to see incomplete games come out. And especially when it's key features to a game that Staten himself calls essential and fundamental to the Halo franchise, that these should be there. And they've been there traditionally at launch. That's why I mentioned anything about, hey, maybe we should delay this game if that's not ready. Who knows what else might not be, because, again, speculation, and we're going to do that on podcasts. But the thing is like, at the end of the day, I don't disrespect anybody else for their opinions. I just don't understand why people are so forthcoming with defending a corporation when they do indeed have a game missing fundamental features to the game and saying it's okay. And then some people are even going as far as to say it's okay because it's within Game Pass and we're getting it for free, which we're not. We're paying the $15.
And not everybody has Game Pass. Quit judging games based on Game Pass.
And so, these key features may not be essential for me or you or somebody else here, but for many people out there, for millions of people, even Forge people, a lot of people love those modes. If you look at Master Chief Collection on PC, there's 14 million freaking Forge maps there. People love this stuff.
They have 10 million players on that, right?
Yeah.
Some crap. So, that's crazy.
This is something like these things are really, like Staten said, essential and fundamental to the game, and they should have been there at launch. Like for me, there is no excuse for how long they've been making this game. And I know they've changed direction.
That's something you got to address, though, that they have had multiple creative directors, right? New engine, pandemic.
There's been a lot of changes there.
Bottom line is still not done.
At the end of the day, as a consumer and as a gamer, I don't care what you've been going through. Like, you've had all this time, and you had a year's delay from a year ago where they said, oh, we were ready to launch this game. What were they going to launch if they would have launched it? Holy crap.
I think it's pretty clear that, and I hate to say this because I'm not a developer and I don't have the skill set that these guys have. And I know that they put a lot of time and work and effort into the work that they do. So I don't want to put anybody down. But you know what? The results speak for themselves. And I think it's fair enough to say that 343 has been pretty inept with the Halo franchise. I hated the last one.
Well, we're going to see the D. They're just about to launch this one. You're going to go in on why they...
No. But I'm just being honest because, they had to clean up that game. It took a lot of resources for them to clean up that game. And because of that, there's areas where, like the co-op and Forge, that aren't going to be ready at launch. But I'm still going to say, as much as it sucks, I'm not going to say it doesn't suck, and I'm not saying anybody shouldn't be upset that co-op and the Forge is not going to be there at launch. They should be upset because you want the whole package, but at the same time you're still going to get to enjoy the core game. You're going to be able to play the single player experience. You're still going to be able to experience multiplayer, and I think at this point I think it's better to release the game and release the co-op a few months down the road. Hopefully they can fast track it maybe. But at this point, I don't think you can delay the game any further.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I do know. Apparently, is some of the gameplay design stuff, which does include co-op, they're having issues on some of the other hardware out there, not the newest stuff. So they're trying to get all these different gameplay things up and running, and they're just struggling on some of the older stuff.
The live service thing is a struggle, right? Obviously, it's a struggle to get through all this stuff and to build co-op around this live service and stuff. And this is why, from the beginning, I've been preaching on this show, matter of fact, about this direction they're going with Halo, this live service direction. I've been preaching against it because I'm like, I'd rather have traditional Halo campaigns. Like, I don't like this. We'll see if it works or not. I could be totally wrong, and it could be fantastic. But I'm going to speculate on shows and tell you why I don't think certain things may work out or may not work out. Because, look at it. We've already had the co-op not being able to be done by launch. Is this a live service issue? Who knows? It could be.
I think it's a RAM issue. The campaign itself, like
everybody's running with the fact that they're saying this campaign game is rock solid. That's what Staten said. The campaign is rock solid. The multiplayer is good. They're going to launch without the co-op. You're running with that, but may I remind you guys, CDPR also said the same things about Cyberpunk. They said that it was running great on PS4 and Xbox One.
I want that
hardware.
Cyberpunk review, damn it.
And that's the thing. Like, look, and that's the thing I was going to ask D. Let me ask you, D. Like, what happens? Because all these people say they've played this, they've been building this long enough. Just release it. Release the other stuff later. What if it comes out in a buggy mess?
Well, if it's in a state like how Cyberpunk,
Not even that bad, but bad. You know, what if it is really buggy?
well, if it's buggy, no, they shouldn't be releasing it, because Halo right now it has a magnifying glass on it. All eyes are on it right now, so they can't afford any missteps, and I think that's perhaps why they've delayed the co-op in the Forge. I really don't think they're going to release this game as a buggy mess. I've never really seen a Halo release as a buggy mess per se. So I don't think it's going to come down to that. I think that Phil would make the call not to release it in such a state. So I don't think that's going to happen. But at the same time, it is disappointing that these features are left out, and you can't sugarcoat it, and you really can't. It sucks, but I'm just simply saying it is what it is, and we got to deal with it. Like the Sony guys, when their games are coming out with missing features, some of them don't say anything. Most of them, let's just be honest, most of them don't say anything, but some of them do. But then it is what it is at the end of the day, and I don't think it not having the co-op and Forge at launch is like a huge deal breaker. I really don't. If the single player campaign wasn't there and they promised to put it there and it wasn't there, that is a game changer, a game breaker.
A lot of people in the chat are saying stuff like, "You're negative, Fonz, blah blah blah." Look, I didn't say I wanted it to be buggy or I think it's going to be buggy. All I can do is speculate based on track record, history, and what we've got right now. And what we've got right now is no gameplay shown for campaign yet. No new gameplay shown for campaign. We've got them being really weird about how they're not going to have co-op at launch, Forge at launch. And, if some things aren't ready and not working out right, of course I'm going to speculate that there could be issues elsewhere. Of course.
You know what created a lot of this,
when they're not showing it.
A lot of this created funds because I think they underestimated how valuable co-op is to those guys that are dedicated to it, right? They do say, hey, it's not as many people as obviously multiplayer or campaign alone.
It's not even that.
But my point is that they at least told us co-op was delayed, and then went into why it's delayed, right? Then that would have solved some issues there.
What I don't understand is how people could just be like, you know what? They told me it's good, so I'm going to believe them. I'm going to believe them based on everything we've known 343 to be and all the issues they've had internally that we've seen, stuff out there talking about how, leadership wasn't very good. They've had
multiple creative directors
turmoil going on. There was a lot of stuff going on, getting rid of creative directors for others. Like this, there has been problems there. So of course we're going to speculate on this stuff. This doesn't mean I'm saying this game's going to come out and it's going to be complete crap. I've never said that. Matter of fact, I've said quite the opposite. I hope it's better. I hope it's better than I think. I hope it's great. I hope it's fantastic.
And I think people should give you the benefit of the doubt there. And it's sad that they don't. None of us here want to see anything bad for the game. That's actually why we're speaking. And I think the game's going to be, quality overall. I just, features are not there. And last I checked, it was Microsoft saying we're giving these teams now more time to create, better, bigger, more beautiful worlds and interesting characters. And I made the joke in my last video. Well, you'll be experiencing that by yourself this time around, and that's unfortunate. And anybody out there that thinks that, you're allowed to think that. Anybody that doesn't think that, you think it's okay. It's fine if it's not there. You're allowed to think that. Yeah. That's okay. But just know that we're only going to speak for ourselves, and if you agree, then I guess we're speaking a little for you.
Yeah, I think we should just wait before we, really lace into them. Let's see what they show us tomorrow. Let's see what they tell us going forward.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Let's wait till tomorrow to see what they show us, campaign or anything. Because this is a topic that, like, to be quite honest, a lot of Xbox fans and people that are Xbox centric don't like talking about. I mean, we I've made a video, Fawn's made a video, dealers talked about it, everybody's talked about it, and to be quite honest, there's a lot of negative reaction to it. A lot of people are, upset about it, and then they get upset at people criticizing it. So I think the topic has been kind of run into the ground throughout the entire weekend through Twitter, social media, videos, podcasts. Now we're talking about it. Like, I just think that, I want to see what they bring out tomorrow, if it is Halo or Perfect, whatever the hell it is. Either way, co-op should be there. End of the story. That's it. And it's delayed. We're accepting it. It's moving on. And
it's also possible to be positive while admitting the truth as well. Hey, co-op should be there. It's not acceptable. I'm hoping that they get that fixed as soon as possible. And I'm still excited for the game. Right. I just notice people, when it don't affect them, they don't give a fuck. But then you say, well, multiplayer didn't launch with it. How about that? Oh, fuck that. And
I never told anybody to boycott the game. Like, I'm not even boycotting the game. I'm playing it day one.
Yeah, who said said that?
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, just because we speculate about stuff doesn't mean we're telling you it's gonna happen. This is what you got to do on podcasts. I mean, come on.
Let me give a few shout outs here. Super chat Z Black Rider, shout out to you. Says it's never given anything a 2 out of 10 unless you take Sony's last E3 and divide it by 2. Yes, Sony wasn't at E3, has nothing to do with Xbox and what they could do better. But yeah, Sony definitely wasn't there, which a lot of people don't remember somehow. Let me go ahead and get back up to this. I moved the thing. Here we go. We've got Don Otaku again. He does say even the Switch is able to automatically sync pull your. He's talking about save files back from the Tsushima save topic using 2 different consoles. So yeah, he's able to actually sync better than what I knew it to do. PS4/5 save system is a joke. That seems to be the recurring theme. Sir X-Man says, Microsoft give me cloud save. I think I got that one, sir. Yes, you just say mobile, PC, and console all work seamlessly. Lord Star Killer, shout out to you, brother. He says, please get Jim Ryan on RDX, explain the game saves issue. I'm not sure you'd be able to. Then we've got Derek James. He does say Digital Foundry noted in the Ghost of Tsushima video that the PS5 SDK was updated to be able to actually read PS4 saves now. That's interesting. So you'll be able to get more games moving forward and we'll be able to use. So that's awesome. That's good to hear. Glad you said that. And then we've got one from Joseph Rotoni. Shout out to you. Mav, by the way, I'll kind of I don't know. You haven't said a lot here recently, so I want something from you. Come up with something good.
Passionate conversation.
Oh, yeah, it was good. It was good. Joseph Rotoni, by the way, you just say, is it possible Halo Infinite is still getting delayed? Question: No, it's not getting delayed. Like I said, I think this issue is from maybe RAM, a lack of RAM on the older systems or something like that for co-op, which is again a gameplay design thing. I guess I know dumb people will come at me over that shit, not understanding what that is. They got so much blowback. Yes, they did. And what the hell? Oh, less confiance after the Forge and co-op delay. He does say, he says, can we calm down the infighting? Yes, that's what I've been here to do with the fire extinguisher. And yeah, we're here for fun, not bickering. I agree. And that's in the chat too. It's in the chat. It's everywhere. It's just people are passionate, man. So it's just things are in the moment. And then Hargit.
I think I'm kind of jaded on this whole issue is a lot of it stems from Cyberpunk, honestly, because CDPR for so long, they were highly regarded as being one of the best developers out there, one of the most consumer friendly, pro-consumer. They wouldn't lie to us, and that's the mentality that I had going into Cyberpunk. And when they did straight up just lie to us, it killed a lot of this stuff for me. And honestly, again, with the track record of 343 as well, of course I'm going to be untrusting of some of these companies. I don't take everything they say at face value. And again, somebody pointed out that I took what he said about the game being not ready, the co-op being not ready at face value. Of course I did, because that's a black eye. Why would he lie about that? Why would he say, it's not ready if it was? Like, he's not going to do that.
Well, yeah, he just didn't give the details as to why it's not ready, right? So he didn't have to tell you everything, but yeah, the ultimate thing is it's just not ready. So Hargeet, by the way, he says, is Uplay coming to Game Pass still a thing? Also, what will Xbox have to counter PlayStation's September showcase? My question is, what are PlayStation launching this year?
I was just to say that they're
Noth-
going to counter with actual
They
games.
delayed Horizon Forbidden West, right? Which is good. They don't want to
Lied.
release things that aren't finished, right? So we applaud them on delaying Horizon. But what is left?
Have they announced the show in September?
I don't know. I don't know anything about any shows.
Not officially, no.
I do know, and I wanted to talk about this before we go. They have another team at Sucker Punch, which they previously did not. And this is not public information, but they are working on either an Infamous remake or remaster, the original Infamous, or a sequel, or something to do with Infamous. So yeah, I think they're turning Ghost into a full-on thing for the main studio, and Infamous they're handing off to the second team, and Infamous will be making a return.
Please, no more remasters. Like, give me a new game. Like, I understand the
I will
transition.
fucking throat punch you.
I know.
I
I know.
literally brought this up.
But Dead Space is
no.
cool, though. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Not for this game. This game's not that old. Seriously. So like what? They're gonna remaster the original one or the one that they just did, like at the launch of.
I don't know if it's a
No, like
remake. It's either
original.
it's
Well, we
either
don't
a
know. We don't
remake, a
know.
remaster, or a sequel.
I hope it's a sequel. I hope Infamous has a sequel. I would think it would have a sequel, to be honest with you. I can't see them doing a remaster for that.
Or director's cut, right?
Yeah, it's time for a sequel for them. I think it would be a sequel, and the PlayStation 5 would be the perfect place for it. So I don't think it's a remaster, personally, but who knows?
Look, this is another Sappho. No one here said that there was going to be a showcase from Sony this month. You idiot. Now, here's the problem with Twitter and information. Rand told me this, right? I said this last week on the show. Somebody on Twitter said that I was talking about a State of Play event this month. I didn't mention a fucking State of Play event this month on last week's show or the week before that show. Somebody
It's not
literally
true.
just took some
I saw a tweet
bullshit.
with you in it.
I know, right? So nobody said there was going to be a show this month 100% or any of that bullshit. We just talked about some other information that you probably still don't know about because you don't actually watch the damn shows. So, yeah, have fun.
I will say, though, it's pretty safe to say that Sony will have another show this year for sure.
They need to, you know.
They're
what I
gonna
mean?
they're gonna show us God of War. I know how Sony works, right? They let Microsoft get a little bit of momentum, and they say, and then they release some trailers, and everybody goes crazy. Oh, it's coming out in 2025, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
so Sony's gonna do what Sony does. So I'm sure we're gonna get a show. September, who knows? I would think. Yeah, September is probably a good month for it to happen, to get some momentum for the holiday season. Because the way Sony guys are, or the PlayStation guys, they just get hyped for stuff that's coming, and once they know that it's coming, they'll invest in the system, and Sony knows that. So yeah, I would expect them to have a show. Yeah, that might be accurate. Maybe September. Maybe.
Shout out to Violet in the chat. She does say, I'd be expecting more of these delays thanks to COVID, and I think you're right. There's a lot of monkey wrenches thrown into the wheel, if you so to say. What the hell? That's a dumb expression. I don't know. Suicide King. Shout out to you. He said it. So shout out to Suicide King. He's been watching the show for years, probably since the beginning. And all those other guys that I mentioned before, awesome. Full Stack. Shout out to you, Kendrick. Shout out to you, Freddie. Pixelbit G has been having some good conversations in the chat, and Valorian, Kinpo, and everyone else, 9 Lives. Even if we don't agree, guys, that's okay. It's not a big deal. Next week, it'll be different topics, different aura, and either way, it was still a great discussion. Even though Fonz, now we know he's a motherfucker. And, no,
Alleged.
I'm just kidding. But seriously, though, big shout out to everyone that's watching the show and everyone that's hit the like button. If you haven't, consider hitting the like button and sharing it with a buddy or two. We do appreciate you guys for showing up. And I want to do some outros and kind of finish up some of these super chats as well, because the least I can do. And we're going to do that. So, Mav, I want you to, I know you didn't get much in on at the end there, but tell everybody where you can find your fantastic show, your channel, and Twitter, and what have you been playing, man?
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude. I beat 12 minutes the other day and absolutely loved it.
You stabbed the wife, right? You did stab her. You told me you stabbed her and you liked it.
Dude, I
He's
did
like,
so
I'm
many
uncomfortable.
crazy
No,
things.
he didn't stab the
I
wife.
accidentally let her die by flipping the light switch on and off too many times. That was a thing. That was a surprise.
What? You can do that?
Yeah, if you flip the light switch off, and then back on, or wait,
You got to turn it
switch
on and then turn it
and
off.
then back off.
Yeah.
And then when she goes in there, she got to turn the light on. Hey, surprise, guys. Just saying. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, it was a blast here. It was passionate conversation. I kind of just like sat and listened for the last like 45 minutes or so with these guys. Just like, I know Fonz is super passionate about Halo with this topic. I agree with a lot of what he says. You know what I mean? But I have different opinions as to, well, and that's okay. We all respect each other's stuff. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, you can check it out on our channel, which is Fun Speculation on YouTube. We have a video that we posted as well, just like a lot of these guys did. Also, we have our podcast that Dealer was talking about, and that's Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's Xbox Ultimate. We have an awesome group of people there. We call it the Magnificent Seven, where we like to have a lot of fun, positive, fun talk about Xbox and games. And then as well as on Wednesday nights, I got another show. It's called Fun Pop, where we talk about Marvel, DC, comic books, TV shows, and more. Lots of fun there as well. So yeah, check it out, guys. Find me on Twitter too at Fun Speculation, where you can get all the kind of updates on the channel and everything. So thanks again to Fonz, D-Batch, Shady, Zocker, and Dealer, and looking forward to shooting some more threes with Dirk, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah, maybe they will. Maybe they'll raise it up to 100 in the next game. He's just the highest rated player in NBA. Yeah, guys, super chat. I'm gonna get. I swear to God, some of you guys listen to the show with your TVs off. Yeah, I'm gonna get them. Like I said, it's the least I can do. I appreciate it. We're doing some outros, and I'm definitely come back to those in a few outros. D-Batch, tell people. I want to come to Shady. I'll come to you last, brother. But D-Batch, tell people where they can find you, man, and what have you been playing?
You can find me on Twitter at D_Batch, of course on YouTube at D-Batch, and I just been playing COD. I haven't really played anything. Just been on COD. I'm gonna try out Psychonauts 2, and I'm gonna try out 12 Minutes. But yeah, it's just been a week where I've been mostly outside. It was a great show. You can see everybody on the show. We all have a different mindset on different things, and we're very passionate on our things. And I think it's healthy to have disagreements amongst groups, or I think it's healthy to have this discussion. We all don't think the same. We all like different things, and I don't think there's any right or wrong. I think if you are upset that Halo Infinite is not going to have co-op, it's not going to have Forge, I think that's valid. And I think that if you're okay with it not coming for 3 months and you're excited for the game, I think that's okay too. At the end of the day, we play games to have fun, and I'm looking forward to Halo. And hopefully tomorrow they'll show us something that will give us more confidence in the game.
Maybe. All right, now's the part where I get to a few of these super chats real quick. So we got I cannot pronounce Jedi Knight Peter. Okay, your name's all one word. At Dealer, do you think Halo co-op will really be ready in 3 months? Yes, I do think it will be ready in 3 months, and they are estimating that, right? So it's just a rough estimate. Hopefully they get it done. Then we got Old Dirty Gamer. Tell them, Dealer. Tell them. Oh no, you're gonna bring up next gen. Shout out to Old Dirty Gamer. He's been watching for a while. Lord Starkiller.
Hey, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here because I got to go to work early tonight.
All right. Where can you find you, buddy? What have you been playing?
Ghost of Tsushima. Been playing that. Fantastic DLC in that game. Up to almost 16 hours. It's great. Really fun.
Why are people saying it's 3 hours long?
The main story is 3 hours long. If you just play the main story, that's all you'll get. But there's so many things to collect and do.
What about side missions? Are they worth doing?
Yeah. If you like the first game, it's the same. Plenty of the same stuff. You basically go in, destroy the forts, and you can replay the forts if you want to. That works too. But no, I've been playing that, and also, of course, doing my own thing. Put out a video Friday about the Halo situation. I got blasted from a lot of you for my take, but that's okay. It's my opinion. We could all have different opinions, but we should respect each other's opinions, I would say. So on my Games Talk Live Sunday, I had Dustin Furman on, PlayStation guy, but a very balanced guy. Great interview with him. Had fun. This Sunday, I will have none other than Song of Irons, Joe Winter. He'll be on, and we'll be talking about that game as well as other things in the news and stuff, and having a good time.
Ask him about co-op.
Check it out. Yeah, co-op Song of Iron. Yeah. So I got to play Song of Iron early. I'll just say that. Can't really talk about it. It's under embargo, but yeah, I played it.
You beat it,
and we will definitely talk. I beat it. Yes.
Yeah. And don't worry about those episodes. Just go watch the one me and Fonz did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did one a few weeks ago, me and Dealer, and that was a fantastic show.
It was.
Always with Dealer. And of course, that being 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time on Fonzarelli Gaming. You can find Games Talk Live, GTO.
Good stuff.
That's it.
Okay. Well, two more of these, and then we'll go at it. But go follow Fonz.
Love the chat tonight.
Fantastic chat. Lord Starkiller, by the way, he says with all the delays, makes you wonder what the Halo Infinite game would have been like a year ago had they launched it. Yes, sir. That's what I said. It's an interesting question. Drix says this isn't Halo 3. The complexities within co-op and Halo Infinite is on another level. It's just tied to the RAM, man. Apparently, it's the last gen consoles in the RAM when it comes to how they're trying to feed all that stuff in. They're having some issues. He said they are traditional modes, but trying to scroll this, but it's way more complex now. So again, yeah, it's definitely RAM related apparently. So we'll come back to the rest of these. Let's go ahead and get Zalker. Tell people where they can find you, buddy, and what have you been playing?
You guys find me on Zalker87 on Twitter, Zalker87 on YouTube. I've been playing a shit ton of games, honestly. I've been playing a lot of Master Chief. I played Hades, got through the final boss, and I think I've gotten through 3 runs. I don't remember. But Hades is freaking awesome. Played that on Game Pass. Been playing a lot of Valhalla, so I'm enjoying that. Yeah, Valhalla is massive. So I'm really happy they have all the DLC,
60
all the little
frames.
updates. So, I mean, pretty much.
I mean, hey, what about Odyssey, right? They updated Odyssey with 60 frames on FPS boost. Have you tried that for the next gen console?
No, not yet. I actually have it downloaded on my Series X too because my girl's playing through it right now. She's like 50 hours in, so now she's excited about the big old patch coming for the 50 or 60 frames. But I actually subscribed to Ubisoft Plus, so now I get to play my games on my Series X and then on my PC if my girl's playing. And then I can just transfer and cross progressions. Like all of Valhalla.
Hang on, they have cross save tied to Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah, yep, Ubisoft Plus. Like if you play on your PC and your Xbox, your count goes with you. And then if you go to your Xbox, I haven't tested this yet, but if you let's say you play a few hours on your PC and you get achievements, if you just launch it on your Xbox, the achievements will pop there. So it's actually like really intricately well done, and you get all of Ubisoft stuff and all their DLCs on PC. So I'm really enjoying. Like I said, man, it's all about connectivity. It's why I love Xbox.
But I want that DLC on Xbox. Did I get it there?
No, Ubisoft Plus is not.
Trash.
I already own it on there, so it was kind of like a win-win.
Interesting. I never.
But anyways, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing, and today was really awesome. I had a great time. The chat was freaking chill. Everybody was having a good time, passionate, and yeah, man. Halo fucking shit up. What's up, man? Why is everything out? No, it was good, man. But yeah, I'm loving Valhalla and can't wait to get back into it tonight, to be quite honest, or beating up some dinosaurs with Shady later.
Damn,
so, yeah, that's
dinosaurs both running around with boxing gloves on. Shady, but I wanted to save you for last because I figured you'd probably have a lot to say here on, because it's been a minute. We got to update people on where you've been and when the hell is your first video coming out, man?
No, not a lot to say. The name, so shady. There's nowhere to find me because I don't have any content.
Well, why not? Damn it.
That's just the way it is. I don't know, man, because let's just say it'd be spectacular rise, spectacular fucking explosion, spectacular cancel, man. I don't like to fucking beat around the bush. I'm blunt. I can be harsh. I'm passionate. I just love gaming, man, and I take no shit. At the end of the day, you can call me what you want, but you'll never call me forgettable, man. And that's it, man. Thanks for having me back on the show. I loved it. It was great back in the day. It was a blast tonight. And will there be a future? Who the hell knows?
Well, I think you're allowed to be passionate. It's a little rough around the edges, but still, again, like you said, you can't call it forgettable, right? So, guys, say hi to Shady. Follow him at the Sesh Empire. You can follow him on Twitter. He's in my last tweet as well about the podcast. And I just thought it'd be a fun guest to have on tonight. He had a lot of passion about it in the party the other night. I was like, come on the show and talk about the shit. So, it's perfect. And now we know Fonz is a motherfucker.
No, motherfucker.
No, Shady wasn't calling him a motherfucker. He said, will you let me speak, motherfucker, right? He's just out loud to himself. So it wasn't like a malicious thing like some of you thought. But anyway, We all got history. It's all good. Again, follow Shady and keep up with him on Twitter and Xbox Live. And you can follow me on Xbox Live at I_dealer_II, where I've been playing Psychonauts 2. And like I said, half of this footage is my girl, half of the footage is me. We're swapping the controller back and forth. That's why I love the Elite Controller 2 with the switchable profiles. I play inverted like a normal human should, which is the opposite of what you might think. And she doesn't. So I can hit that button and swap the right stick
You need
inversion.
to break up with her, bro. It's done.
That's fucked
Should have
up.
done it right there.
That's
Right
real
when you
fucked
were
up.
like, wait, what do you play? I just opened the door. Get out.
You're not playing inverted. All right.
I almost did that to my girl when she was like, there's no difference between the OLED. You're just being elitist. And then she played it and I was like, get out. And she was just like, oh, never mind. I see it. I was like, that's right.
You just turned it on. Oh, shit. But
Yeah.
you were the same way before you got one, you little bitch.
I stabbed you.
He's like, I bet you my old ass Vizio P series looks the same. And then he shut the
And
fuck
I was
up.
like, it's good enough.
There's not much difference.
Anyway.
Can't be. Well, for one, it don't shut off in the middle of games like that thing does. And secondly,
It didn't shut off. It froze, bro.
oh, shit. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming out and joining us. We know it's kind of been dead out there, but apparently there's some cool stuff coming tomorrow. And watch the full show for all the details and fun discussion. Let me get a few more of these super chats here, and then I will roll out. The rest of you guys can head out if you want. But I'm going to get some of these. Jose, shout out to you. He says, I respect people's opinions. I don't agree that because you can't play your preferred way, it should be prevented to play my preferred way. So that's a good point. Yeah, no one here mentioned a delay though. So I don't know what they should do there. But I know that they don't want to delay it because they want to get that big holiday surge, right? So it's a tough one, but it does suck. That's the bottom line, at least for me. Lord Starkiller says things I am looking forward to from today's Gamescom: Psychonauts 2, Xcloud On Console, which that's gonna be a fun one, and Forza Horizon 5. Yes, Xbox have the biggest year in gaming this year, in my opinion. And then we've got Hectic World. He does say Halo no co-op. He says cancel my Game Pass Ultimate. Really? Damn. He says paid off for 3 years. Oh well, moving on. And then we've got another one from Lord Starkiller. Well, hang on a second. We got another one from Z Black Rider. He says tax for that Soldier Boy Cerny Tech. Yeah, I heard Z Black Rider bought a Soldier Boy console. Let me know if that's true. So you guys remember that? Didn't he go to jail for that or something?
So I don't know. Soldier Boy, like, did you even hear the news? He came out and fucking said that he's now the CEO of Atari, and then Atari kind of blasted back, said, "Yeah, we know it's a nice job to have, but we already have a CEO." Like, he's so fraudulent.
He might do better as CEO than their current one.
Well, I just want to know when Digital Foundry is going to do comparisons between the KFC console and the Soldier Boy console.
In the Mad Box, remember that one?
Yeah.
I did a video on the Mad Box, which Slightly Mad Studios just lied their ass off about. It was like some PR dumb shit, and I was like, "Yeah, this is dumb. It's not going to happen." And that video did like, I don't know, 100,000. I was like, "What the fuck?"
They were talking so much smack. Oh, we're gonna bring it out. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be that, and nothing. Crickets.
Yeah, it was trash. That's what happened. It was a trash can. And then Garcia, shout out to you, says, all I ask is that whoever dropped, wait, what the hell? Oh, whenever Halo drops, it'll be stunning. That is going to be true. It's going to look great. And hopefully it'll have ray tracing at launch, which it will.
Yeah. From what I saw from the multiplayer, because usually the multiplayer, it's not going to look as good as a campaign, and the multiplayer was crispy, man.
Ooh, it's so crispy. Let us know if you played the Halo multiplayer. Shout out to everyone in the super chat, all the channel members, all the patrons, all that good stuff. Check out my last video on the channel that's my favorite stuff to make. It's a lot more fun. It's just the time, man. 10-minute videos fucking suck ass to make. It's fucking 8, 12, 14 hours sometimes, and it's just, yeah, check it out. It's a lot of good gameplay there, some more Psychonauts stuff, and Psychonauts 2 embargo is already up. If you haven't, what's the meta on that real quick? Anybody know offhand?
I think last time I checked, it was close to 80. Let me just run it up real quick.
Hey, we got all the late information for y'all in the chat.
Here we go.
Also, always looking for more 2K21 team up buddies. Mav is one of them.
sitting at 87 right now.
87 for Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
87.
good. Hey,
Hey,
Costanza,
you know-
shout out to you, brother. I showed us playing Call of Duty Cold War on last week's show.
If you notice, and Microsoft brought it up today at Gamescom, most of the games that they've released this year, they've all got high scores, man. Like Flight Simulator got a high score. Now Psychonauts, we know that, we're going to hope that Halo gets a good high score. It's probably going to get docked for not having the co-op, but I still expect it to score high. And of course, Forza is going to score high. Forza is going to be 90, 91, 92. Like it's going to be high. So it's a good year for Xbox, man. All these people that are like down on Xbox, like I know there's a lot of Sony guys out there and they love Sony and Sony brings all the exclusives, yada, yada, yada. And I'm not going to deny Sony has some fantastic exclusives. But this year, Microsoft has done a great job with their first party, and the holiday season, it's going to be pretty good. Not flawless, but it's going to be really good.
It'll be pretty good. Psychonauts 2, 87, 86 on Meta right now. So that's good. I mean, definitely better than if it were not. So I'm going to say that's a win right now. So we'll see how that goes and where that goes. So again, guys, thanks for joining us. Shout out to the boss mod, Lethal, Papa, Obi-Wan, another moderator, Kirby, was in the chat. We saw Loomy Hood from Gaming Beyond the Box was in the chat. He's a moderator. Shoguns and all the channel members. You guys are awesome. And again, shout out to Matt for coming on. We play 2K all the time. Psychonauts in the chat. We play 2K all the time. And again, we're looking for more people to squad up with and get some even more people, Matt. Imagine having 7 people.
That means I get less shots.
You're right. Yeah, you can't have that shit. All right. Anyway, yeah, good show, guys, and we will see you next week.
Later, everybody.
Stop being a fraud.